is far too fraught and volatile and overheated for anything around Donald Trump to cool the tensions or ease the tensions that we're seeing. And what bothers me regarding the whole situation around Donald Trump, the mishandling of classified documents, the willful mishandling, the desire to hide or destroy classified documents, repeatedly not turning over those documents to the National Archives. That action by Donald Trump needs to be investigated, and he will be arraigned tomorrow. It was investigated. He was indicted. He'll be arraigned. That arraignment will take place tomorrow. And then you have people who know better, like Josh Hawley, tweeting out, and this was last week, quote, "If the people in power can jail their political opponents at will, we don't have a republic." First of all, it's such a broad statement, and you could say, well, sure, if people, political opponents, people in power, can jail those who say or do anything against them at will, yeah, that's not a republic. But guess what? That's not what's happening here. And Josh Hawley knows that. He's willfully misleading people with statements like that to get them riled up, to make it seem like Joe Biden himself is going after a lily white, innocent Donald Trump. And that is not what's happening here. The Department of Justice had reason to believe that Donald Trump had these highly classified, top secret documents in his possession. And now we have the recordings, we have the pictures, we have the audio that Donald Trump not only had these documents, showed them to people who did not have security clearance, and then tried to hide or destroy them to keep them from the National Archives.
That is the difference. The main difference here is that he seemed to be willfully intent on not giving back some of these. I really don't understand why. I'm not sure you would want to keep any of that stuff. I honestly don't believe, and this is, I have no way to know one way or the other what was in his heart, what his plan was for any of this stuff. When we talked about it last year, when all of this went down, and the question was, why would he do this? Why would he have this stuff? Um, I lean toward it being a thing where he, like having trophies. You just like to show people, hey, look what I have. Look at this. Just like really silly, as opposed to it being, I'm going to sell this information to the Russians, or I'm going to sell this to North Korea or whatever. I don't think he was going to do that stuff. I think he just liked the idea of having these things in his house. That's my impression. I could be wrong. Maybe he had something way more nefarious planned, but I just don't think so. But the idea that he intentionally was trying to withhold the stuff and they asked for it back and he wouldn't give it back, that's the problem here. And I think what a lot of folks are missing, and I know you're right. People like Hawley and Kevin McCarthy, they know better. They know better that if this were a regular citizen, he'd have been in jail months and months and months ago. He was given deference here. A lot of it, in fact. They were kind to him to ask him to give that stuff back. And had he done it, none of this would be happening. Mm-hmm. And everybody points to Biden had documents, and so did Mike Pence. They cleared Mike Pence. Biden gave back the stuff too. That's the difference here. And I don't understand why people can't really grasp that idea, other than they are being lied to by people in their own party, people who run that party. Now, here's one thing I will say, because I have heard this a lot, that if they do this with Trump, then we're going to go after Joe Biden. We're going to go after Hillary Clinton. Here's the difference between a lot of folks and the way I think people on my side of the aisle see it. My feeling is, go ahead. I don't care. I do not care if Joe Biden committed crimes and he goes to jail. I mean, I care that he commits the crimes, and I think he should go to jail for them. And the same thing for Hillary Clinton. If she committed serious crimes and jail is the appropriate punishment, she should go to jail. I do not care to protect any of these people. I don't care about politicians. They are there to do a job for me. I don't care if they're Democrats or Republicans or independents. They are there to make our lives easier. They are there to do a job that we hired them to do. And if they don't do those jobs well, or if they do something nefarious, they should be punished. I don't care what party it is. And I am not going to go to bat for Joe Biden or for Clinton or Barack Obama or anybody who does a crime knowingly and tries to hide it. Those people should be punished.
And a big part of it is, as you mentioned, the intent and the cover up, the trying to hide it. This was back in 2006. Former National Security Advisor Sandy Berger took classified documents from the National Archives and stuffed them down his pants to take them out of the National Archives.
Yes.
And he was caught and he said, "Oh, mea culpa. Here are the documents back." He got a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
We have extensive documentation and audio recording of Donald Trump having boxes and boxes of the most sensitive intelligence information and top secret classified documents, and trying, along with the help of his former military aide, to hide and or destroy these documents, not playing ball, not responding. I do want to go back to, people say, well, this is a witch hunt because they're always going after Trump. There have been some investigations that maybe seem political, for sure. You go to the Alvin Bragg in New York. I'm not a big fan of Alvin Bragg indicting Trump.
Yeah, me neither.
With the state of New York. That seemed political, and I do think it hurts the actual investigations that are not political. And people have brought up, what about the Steele dossier and Russia? Well, here's the thing. The information from the Steele dossier was extremely suspect, and Trump was not found guilty of personal collusion with Russia. But
Right.
What we do know was there absolutely was Russian interference. We know that Paul Manafort shared 2016 campaign information and sensitive information with Russia. We know that. We know that there was interference.
And we know Russia's full of hackers.
That's exactly right. But
We know
also, not just that Russia was hacking, we know that from our side, Manafort was sending stuff their way.
Sure.
So we know that some of that was actual criminal activity. And then when you go to Hillary Clinton, that's where, yes, James Comey decided that while Hillary Clinton had, quote, extreme carelessness with this classified information, she did not have gross negligence at a criminal level. Now, I think that was wrong. I can't tell the difference between extreme carelessness and gross negligence, because I'd argue Hillary Clinton knew exactly what she was doing with that sensitive information. But here's the thing. If you apply the Comey standard, and I'm not the one who made this up, David French has written about this, multiple other people have written about this, the Comey standard to Donald Trump, he surpasses it. We have the intent. We have the mental state of intentionally trying to hide and mishandle classified documents.
If everything in the indictment is accurate, and I don't really have a reason to believe that it's not, that looks exactly like what was going on here.
Yes.
And it's very clear. Read it. It's 49 pages. It isn't very long. It doesn't take more than 20 minutes to read that thing. And when you do, you should, if you have an open mind, come away from it feeling like, ugh, that's not very good. Now, I can't, I'm not exactly sure if anything is going to change here for people who are already supportive of him. I think they will continue to be. I'm not sure that this is the thing that says, oh gosh, wow, this guy, what's he doing? I can't support that anymore. I think if you've reached either conclusion, you've probably already been there for quite some time. I also believe that, you mentioned Alvin Bragg in New York. It's probably a whole lot easier to make a political move like that on a local level than it would be on a national, federal level with so many moving parts. And these people who are running these investigations are not stupid. They know what the tenor in the country is now. You better believe that they believe they have all of their ducks in a row and there is some substance here. Otherwise, they would not be pursuing this. I don't care what anybody says. They're not that dumb. They know what things are like in this country right now. And they're not going to pursue something that's flimsy. They're just not. So I don't buy that for a second, and I don't think you can convince me otherwise.
No, and I will say this with the indictment. We knew and could guess kind of what was going on at Mar-a-Lago with the secret documents. There were some details that were outlined before the indictment was made public. it was still shocking to
Yeah.
see it. It's the same way you can hear about a crime, but then you can watch the crime take place. You can read that someone was beaten up or killed, but when you see it on video, it hits you at the next level.
Yeah.
That's how it was with this indictment. The pictures, the audio, the transcripts of the conversations. It's pretty shocking to think this was a former president of the United States being so careless with information as to jeopardize not only the national security of the United States, but also of our allies, showing our weaknesses and our allies' weaknesses, all because of his ego.
314-436-7900 is the phone number. You can visit with us if you would like to do that today. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Your annual eye exam is covered by most insurance plans, so right now is a great time to call the Ophthalmology Associates. 314-966-5000, 314-966-5000. Of course, youridoc.com. Visit them on the web. Ophthalmology Associates are the doctors' doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors. That's more than any other practice. They are doctors Greg Birdie, Ranja Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. They are experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. They also are experts in LASIK surgery. That is a life-changing procedure. If you, like me, have worn contacts your entire life, you get tired of taking your contacts out every night. Or now that it's summer, you're jumping in the lake, you're jumping in the pool, you notice the water in your eyes, you're keeping them closed, your contacts don't float out or they're dry because of allergies. LASIK surgery can take all of that away, and it's really nice to be able to wake up in the middle of the night and see the clock. So if you are thinking about LASIK, maybe you just want more information, call the Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000, youridoc.com.
We go where you go. 11:20 a.m., 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
Internationally acclaimed vocalists, the Ambassadors of Harmony, invite you to Acapella Magic. One night only, June 17th at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Call the box office 314-516-4949 or online at aoh.org.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Now, Y98 presents 90 and 60. A look back at the St. Louis City match against LA Galaxy. Presented by Ponce Health Sciences University. Creating new pathways and careers in healthcare.
City. Cross! Nico Cialtini! An incredible volley! City leads! Nico Cialtini! You will not see a better goal! Putting cross in the fourth corner for LA. Top the box, and it's swapped away by Berkey. Oh, baby. It's knocked forward by Costa. Spun out wide by Judd. Costa crosses, and it's tipped home. LA will tie the game. A tie, the second of the season for City.
This has been 90 and 60, presented by Ponce Health Sciences University. Up next, St. Louis City faces Nashville SC. This coming Saturday. Pre-game at 7, kick at 7:30 on Y98 St. Louis.
Aspiring to be a doctor? Didn't score well on the MCAT? Gain all the confidence you need to succeed at Ponce Health Sciences University. PHSU west of City Park on the corner of Jefferson and Market prepares students for every aspect of a medical career. A Master of Sciences in Medical Science degree and MSMS from Ponce prepares students for the coursework, the time commitment, and the rigor for a future in healthcare. Learn more at stlouis.psm.edu. That's stlouis.psm.edu.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
Nearly a century of informing, entertaining, and serving St. Louis. KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. 314-436-7900. You want to get to that situation with Augusta, the wine country. It's very fascinating.
And the 12-hole golf course.
A 12-hole golf course, which Amy just cannot figure out.
I can't wrap my brain around
What
it.
is so difficult? It's you want more than 9 holes, but not quite as many as 18. It's very simple. Don is with us from Florissant. Hello, Don.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
That's great. Hey, I was just calling to comment on the Trump indictment. And I'm wondering, in this country, we're so polarized and so divided when it comes to politics and our political views. I'm wondering, what's more important, the country or the adherence to the law? And if we say that the law, or rather the country is, then aren't we saying that the law truly is not blind? We're pulling the blindfold off of Lady Liberty. I don't know.
I don't know. What exactly do you mean? Do you mean if we don't?
I think I would have put country and law together.
That's
and
the way
then
I'm.
party on the other side.
That's what I'm.
confused.
Is that what you're trying to say, Don?
No, I'm trying to say, you can put them together, and they should be together. So therefore, we're moving all of the country in the same direction, in accordance with the law. But because we separate them, and I mean Democrat, Republicans, we have separated them to say that because this is a president or a former president, we should not hold him accountable because it's going to divide the country.
Yeah,
we got to put the country more important than, or the president more important than the country.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up because I've heard a couple conversations over the weekend of, in hindsight, should Gerald Ford have not have pardoned Nixon, and should Richard Nixon gone to jail because it set the stage for treating presidents differently than your average citizen? Kind of a interesting conversation because, of course, Ford pardoned Nixon, and it's just not good to have former presidents be thrown in jail. But did that set the stage for treating presidents with kid gloves when it comes to legal matters?
Mm-hmm.
And I can make the argument for being careful.
Right.
Presidents are different. They are different in a way.
Where I stand on it is laws are laws, and we have to adhere to them no matter what happens after the fact. I think that has to be clear, even if there is, violence, which there shouldn't be, and we've got to cool it on that stuff. But you've got people who are openly advocating for it. That's not going to help anything. But if we don't adhere to the laws, and this goes for Clinton and Biden too. And I'm going to say this another time. If either of those two, if there is clear evidence that they voluntarily, willfully committed crimes, they 100% need to be punished. And I would be first in line to tell you that, because I don't want any of my elected officials behaving like that. I know that there's maybe sometimes I have a naive idea about what politicians are supposed to do. Some of them are crooks, and I get that. Well, I want the crooks to be punished. If there is evidence that shows they need to be punished, I don't care. I won't lose an ounce of sleep.
Yeah.
If any of these people go to jail for something they did wrong.
And I'd say I'm okay with Hillary Clinton being charged with gross negligence. I would argue she should have been.
They had all 3 branches of the government. Don't you think they would have locked her up if there was enough there? Come on. Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Following the Dave Glover Show at 5 o'clock, it's Total Information PM. Hey, I'm Michael Calhoun. Check in with Kevin Wheeler and me for the latest news and information. Roger covers your commute. Dave Murray's got the forecast. Matt Pauley has sports. We'll take deep dives on local issues and help you be a smarter consumer. At 5:30, the CBS Evening News helps you understand what's happening around the country and the world. Total Information PM at 5 o'clock, right after Dave Glover on the trusted voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold for Newbold BMW. Do not trust your BMW to some quickie lube place. Bring it to our award-winning service department. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Hey, it's Bo for Reinhold Electric. You know how you can tell Reinhold Electric is the right electrician for whatever your job is at your home or your business? Is because you see Reinhold trucks everywhere. They're on the roads, they're at the airports, they're at homes, they're at businesses. Heck, I was on my way to Minnesota about a month ago, and I saw Reinhold trucks in the middle of Iowa. If you need an electrician, call on Reinhold Electric. Their number is 314-631-1158. That's 314-631-1158 at ReinholdElectric.com.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies, 63 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. Church leaders' response to sexual abuse and the question of whether women can be pastors will be much of the focus at this week's annual meeting of the Southern Baptist Convention in New Orleans. Delegates will vote on the decision to expel some churches from the nation's biggest Protestant denomination because they allow women to serve as pastors. It's costing a bit more to fill up a tank of gas in St. Louis. Gas Buddy says the average price for regular unleaded is 4.1 cents higher than the previous week, $3.34 a gallon. The good news is that's more than 3 pennies lower than a month ago. The national average gas price rose more than a nickel this week to $3.57 a gallon. A pasta strike in Italy. CBS's Vicki Barker has more from the foreign desk in London.
Inflation has hit European grocery prices harder than in other advanced economies. And in Italy, the price of that cherished staple pasta has soared twice as fast as that. Some European governments have imposed price caps to protect consumers. Italy's decided not to. So now one consumer group says Italians should put down their pasta pots in protest, calling for a week-long national pasta strike. The hope is that a boycott will force the producers to lower their prices. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Looking at the roads this hour, there is debris reported in the roadway westbound 44 before you get to Antire Road. The left-hand lane is closed there. Also a stall reported on westbound 70 just past First Capitol Drive. It's in the left-hand lane. The forecast for today, mostly sunny, pleasant, a high of 75 degrees, clear to partly cloudy and cool tonight, an overnight low of 57. We have mostly sunny skies, 63 degrees now downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Brought to you by Visit Missouri. What makes for a great vacation? Depends on who you ask. No matter how you like to get away, Missouri is filled with beautiful destinations and incredible experiences for you to explore. Discover the possibilities at visitmo.com.
Cardinals baseball is in full swing.
Right center field, a grand slam for Nolan Gorman.
With the free Odyssey app, local fans can listen live all summer long, whether you're at the grill or at the pool.
And it's a daughter.
An opposite field home run for Wilson Contreras.
Cardinals baseball. Cardinals announcers. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Get in the game and download it today.
Spring has sprung and we're ready for you at St. Louis Composting. This year, skip the garden center mayhem and conveniently order your compost, garden soil, or mulch for delivery straight to your home. Online at stocompost.com. That's stocompost.com.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
An official message from Medicare. Don't let preventable diseases stop you from doing the things you love. Medicare Part D now covers all recommended vaccines, like tetanus and shingles, at no cost to you. That means you don't have to stop whipping up your favorite recipes or dusting off your guitar to show that rock stars never get old. Talk to your doctor about which vaccines are right for you so you can keep doing the things you love. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If you're thinking about selling your St. Louis area home, you might be a bit overwhelmed by the process, especially in this market. Take it from me, Debbie Monterey. I strongly recommend that you call and spend 5 minutes getting to know Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria understands that you have questions and that selling your home can be stressful. Gloria has mastered the home selling process with her Guaranteed Sold program. It simply states Gloria will sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or Gloria will buy it. So what's Gloria's secret? Gloria already has the buyers. Fact is, your home may already be sold. Let Gloria show you how she nets her sellers more money and how she sells faster on average. Need more proof? Check out Gloria's 5-star reviews and get moving. Call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt. Hi, I'm Miles Michaelis.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It's the Cards and Giants tonight. Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
It's a wild time we live in this country. Really on the planet. Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX. We go to the Quiver River Electric guest line today. We visit with CBS legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum, who joins us this morning. Thane, we appreciate your time today. How you doing?
I'm good, Chris. I always enjoyed hearing your voice and Amy's.
Oh, well, that's what a nice thing to say. Some of our texters disagree with you, but so let's talk about where we are right now. Tomorrow, the actual appearance in court in Miami is happening. He is currently on his way to Florida. They're following the motorcade right now. The helicopters are. So obviously this is sort of an historic last 72 hours that we've had here. How much different is this really? Because people are drawing comparisons to what happened with Richard Nixon and all of that. How much difference is there really between this and that?
Well, that's a good question, Chris. That I haven't heard yet. So remember, the Nixon case would have been an impeachment, right? Because there's a longstanding policy not to bring criminal indictments or investigations against sitting presidents, right? So that's why the Mueller investigation, even though they didn't seem to have anything, the Justice Department said, we still have a policy. We just don't bring criminal cases against sitting presidents because they're busy and we wait until they're out. So the Nixon thing is very different in the sense that he would have been impeached, and I don't know whether he would have been removed from office in a Senate trial. Remember, that was such a bizarre case. He was winning at the polls, and yet he paid bribe money to people to eavesdrop, wiretap his opponents in the Democratic committee. What you have here is a much, oddly enough, a more serious charge. Of the 37 counts, 32 are related to espionage, which is really an insurrection. It's an attempt to overthrow the federal government. I don't know if the evidence here actually proves that at all, or whether this is an appropriate charge. But this is very serious. The Espionage Act is from 1917. It's a World War I statute that we used because we were worried about spies from around the world seeking to overthrow the federal government. We're also worried about anarchists in the early 20th century. So, the question is, does the Espionage Act apply to a former president who was merely holding on to documents that were created during his presidency, never destroyed the documents, never sold the documents, never shared the documents? There's no evidence there was a foreign entity he was in discussions with. He was like a kid that kept his football and didn't want to give it away. Now, we learned from the indictment that the documents were very classified and very sensitive, and he shouldn't have had them. On the other hand, he's the president of the United States, and the Presidential Records Act contemplates that when a president leaves, he would negotiate with the National Archives to see what he could keep, as if to say, we recognize that you have a possessory interest in these documents. So that's what this is about. The arraignment is tomorrow. Of the 37 charge counts, 32 relate to the Espionage Act, and the remaining deal with obstruction of justice and making a false statement.
Okay, and you used, again, going back to the word espionage, in the indictment, there's nothing that says, nothing regarding the dissemination of this classified information to foreign parties. We do
Nothing
know
like that.
Yes, we do know he was showing it off to people who didn't have clearance, but not to foreign parties. So under the Espionage Act from World War I, does that mean we're talking it falls under the loose lips sink ships mentality of the gross negligence regarding highly sensitive information?
Yeah, but Amy, they didn't bring gross negligence. They could have done that, right? They should have done that, right? Because I think Amy would have been more persuaded, I think, is all right, he's negligent. But they're saying this was criminal intent, right? So there is a much higher standard. They made it much harder for themselves. Yeah, you were waving around documents to people that had no business seeing it. So it wasn't like you just kept it in your sock drawer. But yes, you didn't destroy it, you didn't disseminate it, but you were too casual with it, or as you say, Amy, grossly negligent. They're bringing a full-on espionage case, as if Donald Trump was the Rosenbergs or Julian Assange or Chelsea Manning or Edward Snowden. That's how, or Jonathan Pollard. Those people are not former presidents of the United States holding on to documents created that they have a possessory interest in. Those people have no business touching that stuff, no less taking it home and then trying to give it to foreign entities. That's the government's burden here. They're making a very strong espionage case based on very sensitive, because now we know, we didn't know before, but apparently the documents are highly classified, top secret, highly sensitive. Before, you remember over the last 10 months or so, you heard people say like, well, you can classify a menu for a state dinner, right? Could be anything. People were saying, oh, come on, everyone overclassifies things. That's not what we're seeing here. We're seeing nuclear launch codes, nuclear capabilities of our allies, our own military preparedness, a potential attack on Iran. Whoa, that's stuff that, really should be secure. But again, they're making essentially intent to overthrow the federal government case against a former president who basically kept stuff in his sock drawer. Clearly, he was obstructing justice. If they brought this just as obstruction of justice, I think there were much stronger grounds, because the indictment says that he was saying things like, do I have to give it back? Why don't I just not tell him I have it? He was saying, as if to say, he can't now claim and say, I didn't even know what I had. I'm playing golf. I didn't know what was there. Now we know, if the notes and that recordings are correct, he knew he had classified documents that they wanted back, and he perhaps shouldn't have.
CBS legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum is with us here on KMOX. Okay, so from a lot of people, we are hearing that he's being untreated fairly. He's being targeted by a liberal Department of Justice, a liberal FBI. This is all politics. There's no substance here. That it's Joe Biden trying to suppress his likely opponent in 2024, when I can't get past the idea that it is very, very, very unlikely, with all these moving parts, that at a federal level, they would even try to bring charges if they didn't feel like they had the goods here. So am I naive for thinking that?
No, you're right. I mean, look, first of all, they brought it in Miami instead of Washington, D.C. Does that matter? Oh, my God. It really matters. Why? Miami is filled with Latin Americans who are very suspicious of governments going after their political opponents. That's what they see in Latin America. You go after your political opponents. So that's a large part of the jury pool. Half the city is made up of Hispanics, right? People that fled Castro's Cuba. In Washington, D.C., the government had a much better jury pool. So that's why I thought this wasn't an espionage case. I always thought, I'm often wrong. So I thought they're not going to bring an espionage case in Miami because in Miami, they have worse jurors. Florida is a red state, right? Why would you bring it there? If you had espionage, you'd keep it in Washington, D.C. So I thought it was a purely hiding the documents case, which is a crime that took place in Florida, right? Mishandling there. So I think you're raising a good question. Do they think they have enough? I think they have something on obstruction. As I said before, when people say, you said you received texters, the people are saying this seems like a liberal hit job. The one thing about the indictment that I found shocking is that there's not one mention of the Presidential Records Act, not one. By the way, no major media talks about it either, because that thing is very inconvenient for people if you hate Donald Trump, because the Presidential Records Act applies to Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton. It doesn't apply. When they say no one is above the law, all people are treated the same, that's not true. There happens to be a statute out there that protects all the former presidents in the fact that they will negotiate with the National Archives of what they can keep, right? And so if you're not going to even mention it in the indictment, that just stinks. I mean, it just seems like, why wouldn't you mention it? Because it's a terrible statute for you, so you don't mention it, but it shows bad faith. And if I was the defense attorney, that's the first thing I would say. You're treating my guy as if he wasn't the president of the United States by saying everyone is treated the same. It's not true. He's the president of the United States. The Constitution has presidential powers. Article 2, he's the president of the United States. These are documents that were created during his presidency. So I don't know. I mean, to me, they have the goods on obstruction, but I think they have a lot of problems on espionage.
Okay, yeah, and I was going to ask if you could sum that up in a 101 manner, because to me, I see the cover up. I see Trump, obstruction of justice. That seems all very clear cut, and we always hear that the cover up is worse than the act itself, and that seems something of a bit of a cliche. So I'm confused. What is the Department of Justice argument for espionage? Like, what can you point to that would say that this is espionage versus obstruction of justice or gross negligence?
The removal and retention of classified material from the Oval Office, period. That's what they're saying.
Okay.
You had no right to walk out with your briefcase or whatever it was. You had to drop everything when you left, and you can't walk out with that. And then when you took it, when we wanted it back, you played around with it. You lied to us. That's another one of the counts, Amy, of false statements. Mm-hmm. You lied to us. You said you gave it back, and you knew you didn't. And now we have evidence that you knew that you were lying, that there were still many documents in your possession. So the Espionage Act is really about retention and removal and retention, right? But that's why I said the Presidential Records Act is very important. Why? Because that sort of covers him on, well, I'm allowed to remove it and retain it. I have to give it back maybe, but it's a negotiation. That's what his lawyers were saying originally. Why did you raid my house? We were negotiating. Why do you raid my house? We're still talking. That was the original argument. We're talking, we're negotiating what's coming back and what's not coming back. So, as I said, I hope that covered the 101, they say, look, they're just saying you don't actually have to sell it to the Chinese to violate the espionage. That's what they're saying. Well, they're saying we don't care what Thane Rosenbaum told Amy and Chris. He's wrong. You don't have to sell it. You don't have to destroy it. You're not supposed to have it, period. That's their argument. I don't know if I just don't know. I mean, but look, everything when it comes to Donald Trump is unprecedented. This has never happened before, right? This could go to the Supreme Court, right? This has never happened before. President, historically, presidents took stuff. George Washington took stuff home. Right? people take stuff. In the 1980s, they passed the Presidential Records Act to put precedents on those. You know what, gentlemen, women, if you're the president, the papers belong to the people, and we're the National Archives. We're going to get it back. But we understand this stuff was created during your presidency, so there's a lot of reasons you may want to keep it, and we can discuss what you can keep. It was anticipating a friendly negotiation. And so that's what's here that makes it very, very different.
So the other important aspect to this that a lot of people are looking at, and I think will never let go of, is that he's being treated differently than Biden is, or Mike Pence, or Hillary Clinton with the emails. Why is that?
So, Chris, that's the interesting thing too. Remember what I just said about the Presidential Records Act, and that it covers Obama, Trump, Clinton, and George W. Bush, right? You know who it doesn't cover? Vice President Joe Biden and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. They were not presidents.
Mike Pence too.
Right, exactly. Mike Pence too, exactly. Those people cannot look to that statute. So that's what's really interesting about this, that the government's not talking about the statute that covers presidents, so that you could make the argument that they're not on the same level, right? That why it's in President Biden's garage is, what? It's in his garage, and why? And you remember what Amy said earlier. He didn't destroy or disseminate. I think she said, well, Hillary Clinton did destroy documents. That has that espionage feel to it, destruction of government records. So there is an argument to be made that Trump had more, there's more legal authority to have allowed him to take it to Mar-a-Lago than Clinton and Biden had to take it back to their residences, and presented a greater national security risk. There's an argument that there is selective prosecution. It doesn't have a good look. The Justice Department is in the executive branch. If you're the Attorney General, guess what? You lose your job if Donald Trump wins. If Joe Biden wins, you probably get to keep your job, right? So that's a terrible conflict of interest. You're going against the chief political rival of the President of the United States, knowing that if you can keep him out of the race or damage him politically, you win and you all get to keep your jobs. It doesn't look good. I'm assuming that other countries, in the way they're telling this story, they're not giving us the benefit of the doubt. This doesn't make us look good.
Thane Rosenbaum, appreciate your time. Thank you for visiting with us today.
Anytime for you both. Thank you.
Thane is the CBS legal analyst, or a CBS legal analyst, joining us here on KMOX. Did you see this coming up? And now it's Amy.
It is me. Well, and the good news is, Ranj, instead of talking about, politics, I get to talk about one of my favorite things, and that is spending outside time on the deck, drinking coffee in the morning, or barbecuing and listening to Cardinals games in the evening. When you have a great outdoor space, when you have a sprawling deck where you can put all of your furniture, maybe a fireplace, a fire pit, a barbecue pit, you become the gathering spot for family and friends and neighbors. And STL FenceWorks can make your backyard dreams a reality. And not only that, but they can do so with decking and fencing that are wholly sourced and manufactured right here in the United States. If you are looking for a brand new fence to give some separation and defining that space in your backyard, STL FenceWorks has partnered with Jareth Manufacturing. They invented the aluminum fence industry over 50 years ago, and all of their product is wholly sourced and manufactured in the U.S. STL FenceWorks, well, they're the third largest Jareth customer in the world. And also, for the deck, STL FenceWorks is the #1 distributor of Wolf cellular PVC decking in the Midwest that's proudly manufactured right here in the U.S., and it's the #1 maintenance-free decking product in the country. At STL FenceWorks, again, they can make your home the gathering spot for family, friends, and neighbors. Your satisfaction is their passion at stlfenceworks.com.
Get ready to celebrate KMOX Day at the ballpark, returning to Busch Stadium Wednesday, August 30th. With the purchase of a special theme ticket, fans will take home an exclusive KMOX Cardinals stein, celebrating the all-time great That's a Winner Jack Buck Hall.
The winner, a World Series winner for the Cardinals.
Only fans that present their theme ticket at the distribution will be eligible to receive the item. Exchanges will not be available at distribution. KMOX Day at the ballpark, Wednesday, August 30th. Get your tickets now.
Hi, folks. Joe Buck. Did you know adding custom closets is one of the best home improvements you can make to increase the value of your home? That's because a beautifully organized home is a desirable home. If you've been wanting to upgrade your closets, now's the time. The design experts at New Space can help you create a custom closet to maximize whatever space you have and to make your home more organized and enjoyable. Increase the value of your home. Go to newspace.com to get started.
Transform your home with a new space.
That's newspace.com.
Mizzou football is returning to St. Louis. Be there when the Tigers take on Memphis in the Mizzou to the Lou Classic this September at the Dome, featuring pep rallies, tailgates, and fan activities. It's more than just a game in St. Louis. Show your Tiger pride and purchase your tickets today. The Mizzou to the Lou Classic, Saturday, September 23rd at the Dome at America's Center. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. Our goal to bring awareness to local organizations and share how they're bettering our community. This month, Blake Travanza with Busey invited Linda Hunspun to shine a light on the work being done by Castle, the Community Action Agency of St. Louis, to assist low-income people out of poverty conditions. Listen to Building Community with Busey Bank at KMOX.com/community banking.
Yes, with inflation, interest rate increases, and a possible recession looming, we are no doubt facing uncertain times in the housing market. But as a realtor with over 20 years of experience, I can tell you, if you're thinking of selling your home, now more than ever, you need a realtor to help you through these times while saving you money. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and we offer all of this for only 4%. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Let's make room for 72 more families to stay together during extreme medical emergencies each day by supporting the Ronald McDonald House Charities of St. Louis Capital Campaign. Please visit rmhcstl.com and learn the ways you can donate.
You know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this.
The show on KMOX.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? No way.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy on the show?
Ron, I don't know if you saw this, but a family in Los Angeles, they were cleaning out their home, and they found in the basement 1 million copper pennies.
A million?
A million pennies. The way they were able to figure out exactly how many pennies they had.
It's worth at least $100.
Well, yeah, maybe 50. They had boxes and boxes of these pennies, and then they weighed them to see. They didn't count out a million separately, but they weighed them to get an estimate. Now, they don't make pennies out of copper anymore. The United States switched to zinc in 1982, but because they weighed, I said boxes, the bags, because they weighed the bags, they came to about 1 million pennies. So here's the thing. You're like, well, that's going to add up. That'll be some change. The problem is the banks don't want them.
They won't take them.
They won't take them. And they don't want to pay 8% by going to Coinstar and just feeding it into the machine. So they have 1 million pennies, and they're trying to sell the pennies on a resale app. They're asking for $25,000. Apparently, they've received a few piecemeal offers, but nobody wants all 1 million.
Why don't
pennies.
they just look, take a summer and take a handful of pennies a day to the bank? Take just a few pennies, I don't know, like a box. Say, hey, here's a small box.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, you have all your money.
They got to get rid of these pennies.
All that copper is probably worth something, isn't it? Like copper's got the pennies have what zinc in the middle of them.
Well, they did in 1982. These are the old pennies.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, the good stuff.
Yep.
All right. That's Amy Marks Cores. I'm Chris Ranji. Fortune famester, comedian, and actor is going to be on with us next. She's really funny. Next on KMOX.
Who will dare to find a new way to think about energy? One that connects our lives like never before and creates a world where we can breathe easy. NewScale dared by making 24/7 carbon-free energy a reality with our Voyager SMR power plants. Let's see how bright the future can be when cleaner, safer energy is available to all. NewScale. Power to the world. Power for all humankind. Discover the future of energy at newscalepower.com.
For the first time since 2020, the third edition of the Karen's Cup. Beginning June 3rd, players will compete for a $180,000 prize fund. This tournament features 10 of the top female chess players in the world, including returning champion Hampi Koneru, along with top-rated American Irina Krush. It's one of the most decisive classical tournaments in chess that you won't want to miss. Catch all the action on the St. Louis Chess Club YouTube and Twitch channels.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Bill talks about his experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
We had 2 bathrooms. It was from the 1950s. We didn't know what to expect. We were a little skeptical that they could actually do this in that short a period of time. They did an amazing job. Brand new tub, shower, toilet, sinks, cabinetry, flooring, tile, you name it.
Were you happy with the finished product?
Very impressive, and we're just anxious to show it off to people now.
So you'd recommend 3-Day Kitchen and Bath?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, we can probably get a few more miles out of our kitchen, but when the time comes to do that, we'll definitely call them back.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, so why don't we do something about it? With Neovitin Men's 50 Plus, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Formulated for men over 50, Neovitin Men's 50 Plus gives you B vitamins to support energy and our proprietary physician-formulated blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Do something about your health today with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus. Available at your local Schnucks and Deerbergs.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
An important message from SNL Coins Gold and Silver buyers. SNL Coins Gold and Silver buyers pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, diamonds, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver. Get a quote with a call to SNL 544-3600, SNL Coins 544-3600, or visit SNL 9300 Gravois just east of McKenzie, 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call SNL 544-3600.
Hi, this is Kevin Wheeler, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Awarded 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year by the Missouri Broadcasters Association, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's sunny skies, 66 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. Donald Trump and some backers are trying to undercut the federal case against him as he prepares for a historic court appearance tomorrow.
Days after being charged with more than 36 felony counts, Trump's been going after the special counsel who filed the case, calling Jack Smith deranged and his prosecutors thugs. Failed Arizona GOP gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake says if prosecutors want to get to Trump, they'll have to go through her and 75 million Americans like her, adding most of us are card-carrying members of the NRA. Trump is urging supporters to protest outside the Miami courthouse where he'll be arraigned, his second time in 2 months, facing a judge on criminal charges. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
JP Morgan Chase has reached a settlement in a class action lawsuit with victims of former financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Terms of the settlement were not disclosed,
The lawsuit had sought to hold J.P. Morgan financially liable for Jeffrey Epstein's decades-long abuse of teenage girls and young women. A related lawsuit has been filed in the U.S. Virgin Islands. According to the lawsuits, J.P. Morgan provided Epstein loans and allowed him to withdraw large sums of cash, even though it knew about his sex trafficking practices. Epstein was in jail on federal charges in 2019 when he was found dead in his cell. The medical examiner ruled it a suicide. Julie Walker, New York.
The average life of a power pole is about 40 years. George Justice with Ameren, Illinois, says recycling them is a big thing in Missouri and Illinois.
Last year, that was about 940 tons of wood waste that would have gone to a landfill, but we diverted it to other uses. And if you think about that, that's about 80 semi-trailer loads of poles.
The KMOX Business Desk, Falcon 9 launched 53 Starlink internet satellites to low Earth orbit from Cape Canaveral in Florida this morning.
3, 2, 1, ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of Starlink 5-11. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
The Starlink network provides high-speed, low-latency connectivity to customers around the world. The Dow from Stifel up 49 points to 39,926. Two-vehicle crash on 141 going south at 6440. The right lane is closed. A stalled vehicle on 6440 west at the exit to Timberlake Manor. The left lane closed.
This afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy, not a bad day, high at 75, then cool for tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 57. Sunny to partly cloudy again for tomorrow, but trending warmer with a high of 84. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Benz on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. At Penn Mutual, they believe that life insurance is the central part of a sound financial plan and that it can make an enduring impact for generations to come. Talk to your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Penn Mutual, trusted for life. 66 in Florissant, 65 St. Peter's, 66 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show.
Sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info@cardinals.com.
In the middle of this party, there were 2 round plastic baby pools. I was like, are we bobbing for apples now? No, my mom had put ice in both of these plastic baby pools and then put canned soft drinks in both of these pools and announced to the party that these were our coolers. I walked in there and I saw 2 plastic baby pools being used as coolers. And I thought, here I am working so hard in Los Angeles, trying to make a name for myself. And we are trash. We are trash.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. It is KMOX. We go to the Quiver River Electric guest line again today. And we are joined now by comedian and actor Fortune Feimster. You just heard her there. And she has a tour happening now, the Live, Laugh, Love Tour. December 1st will be at the Factory. Tickets are available at fortunefeimster.com. And also the new Netflix series with Arnold. Arnold is in it. It's called FUBAR. It is on Netflix right now. And Fortune is visiting with us today on KMOX. How are you, Fortune?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing okay. So I don't know when that happened, what you were just talking about, but have they gotten actual coolers now?
I mean, yeah, I finally got my mom a cooler. That was part of her wedding reception for her second marriage.
Okay.
That she decided to have a circus wedding theme, and that marriage lasted about 3 months, and I don't think that wedding reception helped.
You know, because I was thinking, the baby pool full of ice is not a terrible idea. It's not the worst idea I've ever heard. Now we're in Missouri, so maybe that just is par for the course. But the wedding reception, I can see how that might be a bit off.
Honestly, you weren't the first person to say that. I posted pictures of the baby pool with the drinks in it, and people were like, That's actually a great cooler.
Well,
That was my first thought. I'm like, I should do that on Father's Day next weekend.
oh my God.
I mean, yeah, you just have to be okay with the drinks eventually sitting in a pool of water. But other than that, it's great.
Well, let me throw this one at you. I think this one is way worse. When my friends and I, back in my college days, would go out of town, we'd get a hotel. That's what the bathtub in the hotel would be. We just fill it with ice, and all the beer would go in it. That's disgusting.
I mean,
Yeah,
whatever it takes to have a cold drink, right?
I
mean,
guess.
The bathtub or the sink both work.
Oh man.
So the tour is happening. You'll be here in December. I mean, it's still a long way off, but tickets are available right now. FortuneFeimster.com. It's FEIMSTER. Just so people know, because I'm sure it's difficult for a lot. What is go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll also be at the Enterprise Center with Bert Kreischer June 24th as part of his Fully Loaded tour. So people get a little teaser there, and then come see a full hour in December.
That dude's insane.
Right? Yeah, he likes to have a good time. He's like the Jimmy Buffett of comedy.
He's the one who said something like, I just want to be healthy enough that I can drink for the rest of my life.
I mean, we definitely have different philosophies in that regard. But yeah, it's wild. This whole tour it's a brand new hour. It's totally different from my Netflix specials. If anyone's seen Sweet and Salty or Good Fortune, this is all new and picks up where that one left, where Good Fortune left off, and starts with my crazy honeymoon and how everything went awry there.
Now you pull so much from your life, whether it's your childhood, all the way on through adulthood. When you were a kid, did you recognize everything that you were experiencing as funny? Like you always had that comedian's mindset, or did that come a little bit later?
That definitely came later. I mean, a lot of the stories when you're young and you're going through it, those are just the growing pains. Those are the awkward things that you are going through in your journey to like figure out who you are. And it was after I got older, moved to LA, started thinking of things from my childhood with more of that comedic lens. And then that's when I was able to look back at that time and have compassion for that person and see the funny in what was happening. So I think I found that kind of sweet spot with storytelling during Sweet and Salty, where I was able to take some of those harder childhood things or stories that happened in my life and turn them into a funny story that hopefully people can relate to.
The first time I saw you was in Office Christmas Party, which is what? It's probably like 3 years old now. The Jason Bateman and Jennifer Aniston.
Maybe about 5. Yeah.
Is it?
Well, time kind of stood still during the pandemic, so those 2 years don't count. So yeah, I think it was about 5 years ago.
But that wasn't the first thing you were in, was it?
No, my first big break was Chelsea Lately. I was on that show for 4 years, and then the Mindy Project. I was in 3 seasons of that, and then Office Christmas Party.
What is it like then to be involved in something and you play the Uber driver in that movie? Where you have all these people who are, I mean, Jason Bateman is a big celebrity. Jennifer Aniston is obviously huge. What is it like then to be in that? Is that intimidating at all?
I mean, luckily I had met Jennifer Aniston. I randomly sat beside her at Thanksgiving a couple years prior to that at Chelsea's house, which was one of those surreal moments of like, is this really happening? But she was so cool and so sweet that once I came on set for Office Christmas Party, she was like, Fortune, gave me a big hug. It felt, it took that pressure off. It felt very comfortable. And that movie was cool because the directors were like, listen, the scene's kind of a nothing thing, but you have to deliver this information. This is where she finds out there's a Office Christmas Party going on. They go, but we know you're a writer, so do your thing. And they let me rewrite the entire scene and come up with the whole Carol, making fun of her name Carol. That was all improvised. The entire scene was rewritten.
Oh, wow.
Like an hour before I shot it.
So when they told you you have the freedom to do that, is your first thought, this is great, I have so many ideas, or does it
Are you terrified?
terrify? Yeah, you blank because you think, oh my gosh, I have an hour to do this.
I love it because it lets me really put my voice into the character. And I'm a writer, so I was an entertainment journalist for 7 years. I wrote on Chelsea for 4 years. I've sold movies and TV shows. So to me, it's like part of what I do. So I really love it when the director trusts me enough to do that. And I got to give credit to Jennifer Aniston. I mean, even though she had met me once before, she didn't really know me that well. And they had me go into her trailer and tell her, hey, I'm rewriting this whole scene. And here's what you would do now. And this giant superstar has to trust me, like somebody that's not that known at the time, that she's going to be in good hands. And to her credit, she went along with the whole thing, and it ended up being, when they tested the movie, it was one of the highest tested scenes in the movie. And they brought me back to do the button of the movie later on in reshoot.
I wonder if that's because my understanding of the way writing works in a sitcom is that the writers are all there while they're filming, and there are constant rewrites. The actors are always working with the writers. Like, this doesn't really work for me, so I'm going to try it like this. And there's that rapport. So I would guess that maybe that's why she was so open to it. I don't know, man. And maybe others are not as open as she is.
I mean, I definitely think, she's a little bit more trusting than other people might have been. I mean, you could see her kind of processing, like, this is gonna be funny. But I think because she knew I'd been a writer on Chelsea lately for 4 years, she's like, I'm just gonna trust this process. But yeah, it's very much a rapport with writers. Are always on set pitching jokes, and it's definitely a team effort.
Well, and you've done so many different angles of entertainment in your career. You mentioned the entertainment journalism, which you did for several years. What is that world like? Is it chasing down celebrities? Was your job just doing, were you doing scheduled interviews, or was it a bit more chaotic?
No, it was more scheduled interviews. I mean, I would go to like premieres, and I would go to like the Oscars and the Emmys, things like that. It was a red carpet situation, press room situation. And then I did this kind of thing, interviewing people on the phone, interviewing celebrities, talking about whatever project they had coming out. So it was a cool way to like be in the business and learn about the business while I was still trying to make it as a performer. It was like such a cool day job to have.
I need to ask you about FUBAR before we say goodbye today. It is a new show. It's on Netflix. With Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's the main person. And I just saw it was a video where he was scaring everybody on set. They were doing the press stuff, and he was scaring everyone. Tell us about this one. I have not had a chance to see it yet.
It's been awesome. It's this huge action comedy series. It's his first ever TV show, where he's in the CIA and his daughter's in the CIA, but neither of them know that's the case. And I play one of the CIA agents who is ridiculous. The show's very fun, over the top. And it's, Arnold digging back into his comedy roots while there's still tons of action going on. But the show's been wildly popular. It was #1 all over the world for the first 11 days. It's currently #3, 3 weeks in. So people are enjoying it just because, it's meant to be silly and fun. And it's cool for me to have done something totally out of my wheelhouse.
Well, Fortune, it was really cool to have you on today. Thank you for giving us time, and congratulations on the new cooler. Coolers for Mom.
Thank you. It
was about time.
I made it.
You did make it. Thank you for being with us today. Your tour, Live, Laugh, Love, that'll be December 1st at the Factory. Tickets are available at fortunefeimster.com. But before that, you are on that Fully Loaded tour, the comedy festival happening at the Enterprise Center on the 24th of this month. And you were there with Bert Kreischer and a bunch of other people. That'll be a lot of fun too.
I can't wait. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. That's Fortune Feimster, comedian and actor and writer, with us here on KMOX. her scenes, and again, I mentioned Office Christmas Party because it was the first time I had seen her. Her scenes in that movie are some of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Serious.
I think it's so cool that, I mean, if you have that side of a writer, and so she gets the whole communication side, she understands the inner workings. She's not just acting. I mean,
Yeah.
she's in the creative process, and plus the way a comedian's mind works is it's on a next level than the rest of us. It's pretty impressive.
And she's super nice. I like her.
Mhm.
That's Fortune Feemster here with us. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
KMOX awarded first place in sports broadcast excellence from the Missouri Broadcasters Association.
The heavy sigh. It's usually a sign of being overwhelmed, as if to say, I can't believe this is happening. Steve All at the All Financial Group has seen those feelings from the people who walk through his doors. If you feel overwhelmed about planning for retirement, call 636-230-8824 and get more details online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. BWA and All Financial Group, LLC are separate companies.
Your next Ozarks adventure is in Springfield, Missouri. Float on the river or hike on the trails, and then finish the day at the most crave-worthy dining and craft beverage spots in the city before taking in some great live entertainment in a historic theater on Route 66. Springfield is also home to the Springfield Cardinals baseball team, many caves ready to explore, and the wonders of Wildlife National Museum and Aquarium. Plan your trip at springfieldmo.org. Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
By now, you've heard all of our ads. America's largest injury law firm. It means that when you hire us, you get a legal army. When it comes to law, size matters. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The medical providers at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now, and your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Psst, it's your backyard. It needs you. And you need it. You need it to be more than it is. Carol Daniel for Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the company to call to transform your backyard with a patio, deck, or pergola. Give them a call now at 636-532-4054. If you have a dream, a vision you've had for years to transform your backyard into a place that the grandkids always want to come to, a place that you want to relax in, or if you are a card shark, you want to have all your friends over, this is the place they'll come to when you call Chesterfield Fence and Deck, and they redo your deck or build a brand new one for you, or they install an incredible pergola. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, celebrating over 55 years in business and going strong. There's a reason they're one of St. Louis's top names in home improvement. Give them a call in the month of June. Get 48 months interest-free financing when you mention my name, Carol Daniel. 636-532-4054 or online at chesterfieldfence.com.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
KMOX, the 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year, recognized by the Missouri Broadcasters Association. KMOX, we were built for this.
Sammy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
So, Ranj, I
Yeah.
went to a family reunion, a big old-fashioned family reunion.
Did they have baby pools for coolers?
They didn't have baby pools
Oh.
for coolers. No, not quite that. But it was in Kansas City, and this was for Mason Jar's family. My family, I don't think we've had a family reunion in years, like the old-fashioned, all the cousins and second cousins, extended family, at a pavilion at a park, just old school in years. For us, they kind of faded away when the grandparents passed away. You know how sometimes the grandparents hold things together and all that. Anyway, so we went to a family reunion, a lot of fun. All the food is set out on the picnic tables, and it was delicious. I ate a ton of food. Here's my question, because I saw this story about food poisoning, and food poisoning is one of my great fears, among many other things like mold, mildew, bed bugs, going to prison, and gum disease. Food poisoning is a huge fear for me. Have you ever gone to a potluck or a picnic or something where you were afraid of getting food poisoning?
No.
Really?
No.
And to
Well-
be clear, I didn't feel that here. There's this story that 40% of food poisoning outbreaks are due to food workers who show up to work sick or contagious and prepare food.
Yep.
So I have always been afraid of salad bars. I was not afraid of anything at this picnic, but you've gone to friends' parties or something where you're thinking, I don't know that I'm going to eat that.
Well, I do have, okay, there aren't really any of these in my family,
Mm-hmm.
but I do know people, and there are only a couple, really, that if they prepare food, I really don't want to touch it.
Really?
Yeah. And so I will not, but I'll make up a good reason
Yeah.
why, yeah, I'm full, I'm good, thank
Yeah.
you. Or I'll just accept it, and then when I get home, I will toss it. But I've
Oh.
never been to a any kind of party where I thought, I'm not going to eat that.
Yeah.
There are people who don't know how to make food well, and I probably won't eat that. But it's not out of fear of being poisoned,
Yeah.
or food poisoning.
No, and I think what's interesting is that, and maybe it's because you know people at parties or family picnics where I've never thought of that. I think about it with salad bars. Salad bars freak me out, but picnics, parties, I can eat all the food. I feel fine. The only time that I'm a little bit sus is when it's like an egg salad or, a meat and it's been out for a long time and it's super hot out.
Oh, well, yeah, that's totally different. I've got a friend who will eat leftovers
Mm-hmm.
like a week and a half later.
Nope.
And he does it all the time.
Mm-mm.
And so people like that, I won't trust to then make food for me,
Yeah.
because I don't know how old the stuff is that they're cooking or they're making. So then I feel kind of about that. But for me, it's like 3-4 days at the most
Yeah.
for leftovers. And then you got to move on.
See-
But this dude will do it 10 days, 14 days later.
And maybe, yeah. See, and maybe that's why most of the time I'm not afraid of food poisoning from picnics or parties. Because I always assumed food poisoning was food that was left out, food that is too old, food that wasn't sealed up. But the fact that food workers caused 40% of restaurant food poisoning outbreaks because they were sick or contagious. So norovirus and salmonella germs that can cause severe illness, those were the most common causes of 800 outbreaks encompassing 875 restaurants, and reported by 25 state local health departments. That, for some reason, I can't tell if that is more disgusting.
When I worked with
Oh.
I worked with the White Sox for a while, and when I did, they have and I ate up in this room a couple of times. I wasn't an employee there, so I wasn't there all the time. But for the people who were front office workers, there was a cafeteria, and there was this guy named Roy who, he cooked and everybody knew him, and then he had a staff that worked for him, and they would get free lunch. One day, there was a norovirus outbreak. And I don't know, it was dozens and dozens of people got sick within hours. And they all determined it came from, I think, somebody touching plates in the kitchen.
Oh.
And there were people who went to the hospital, and it all happened very, very quickly. I think about that all the time, getting sick from a restaurant. It's a possibility, but you can't live like that either, thinking that you're always going to get sick or you'll go mad.
No. Okay. I'm just thinking about like where I'm a hypocrite or where I'm inconsistent when it comes to this. Salad bars gross me out, and I've slowly had to move away from them. And I don't do certain things in salad bars. Don't ever go to the Olive Bar because there are always handles dropped.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
My
Oh, it's the
gosh.
worst.
So even if someone wasn't digging in there for the handle,
The handle
it's
fell
still
into
in
the.
there.
Oh,
my gosh.
forget it.
Oh.
Oh, that is the most disgusting thing. Oh.
Well, anyway, 40% sick workers
Oh.
touching your food. That's so gross.
Oh, Matt Pauley would have a fit if he saw something like that. We'll give you the birds with Matt next on KMOX.
Radio stations don't have newsrooms. They have a phone, and that's their newsroom.
Dave Glover on why the KMOX News Department is different.
This is a story I'll tell like my grandkids. You're not going to believe this, but when Grandpa was on KMOX, we had dedicated people went out and found the stories, and they verified them, and they reported them. And they'll be like, that's crazy. I'm really proud to work with these guys.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays beginning at 1 on KMOX.
Can you imagine being free again?
You're free again.
A songbird in a crystal sky.
A dolphin in the Caribbean.
A puppy exploring a big backyard.
You escaped the handcuffs of the junk that held you captive.
You escaped because you called 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Our clean and shiny trucks haul away your distractions.
And leave your home sparkling with joy.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AAMCO.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey. Have you noticed that for sale signs in your neighborhood have been up for longer than normal? Why? Well, they probably don't have my friend and trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty's name on them because agent selection matters. And that's why I recommend you call Gloria Liu. I've been telling you about Gloria for years now, and you should call Gloria before you list your home. Gloria has the buyers. More than 2,400 exclusive buyers in her database looking for a home in your neighborhood. Gloria sells twice as fast and for 5% more money on average when compared to other agents. With Gloria, you sell faster and for more money. And Gloria will guarantee upfront in writing that she'll sell your home at your price and your time frame, or she will buy your home herself. Call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
At 11:30, we've got some sun and 67 degrees downtown at the Arch. Former St. Louis Alderman Brandon Bosley faces federal wire fraud charges. The indictment unsealed today accuses Bosley of trying to get a repair shop owner to charge him more for damage to his vehicle in order to defraud an insurance company. Donald Trump traveled to Florida today ahead of a history-making federal court appearance this week on dozens of felony charges, accusing him of illegally hoarding classified documents and thwarting the Justice Department's efforts to get the records back. Some news from a study aimed at athletes that could benefit us all. Correspondent Michael George.
Researchers out of the University of Georgia say eating colorful fruits and vegetables can help your visual range. Compounds in foods like leafy greens and yellow and orange produce have been shown to improve how well a person can see a target clearly over distance, which is crucial in most sports.
We've got a two-vehicle crash on 141 going south past Highway 40. The right lane closed. Weather sponsored by the Flat Roof Company. Quality workmanship at a competitive price. High today 75 for tonight. Low 57. Tomorrow's high 84. At the moment, 67 degrees downtown at the Arch. The Flat Roof Company. If you have leaks in your commercial or industrial flat roof, there is only one company to call, the Flat Roof Company, because they have a great reputation and provide excellent service at great prices. Call the Flat Roof Company at 314-995-2700. Flat roofs are all they do. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy and Renner Garage Door. Renner's been servicing and installing garage doors in St. Louis since 1966. Residential, commercial, service and repairs, RENNER, forward and back. Renner, the company that does garage doors. RennerDoorSTL.com. Giddy up!
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement savings to stock market risk? How would you like to participate in stock market gains but never stock market losses? Hi, this is Ben Coons, host of the Retirement and Income Radio Show. This week, I'll be on at 7 a.m. Saturday morning so we can enjoy the afternoon baseball game. Call me now for my free retirement and income book at 844-513-7233. And as always, go to the Odyssey app where you can hear my podcast.
Who will dare to find a new way to think about energy? One that connects our lives like never before and creates a world where we can breathe easy. NewScale dared by making 24/7 carbon-free energy a reality with our Voyager SMR power plants. Let's see how bright the future can be when cleaner, safer energy is available to all. NewScale, power to the world, power for all humankind. Discover the future of energy at newscalepower.com.
When it comes to finding the perfect grill, family-owned and operated Cotton's Ace Hardware has you covered. Get free delivery and free fuel on any grills over $300, and free assembly and haul away of your old grills with the purchase of a new one. With a selection from Weber to Traeger and your local retailer of the Big Green Egg, Cotton's Ace Hardware makes it easier than ever to replace your old grill. Let Cotton's Ace Hardware make your family barbecue more enjoyable with that one-of-a-kind grill you've been looking for. Find your nearest St. Louis area location at cottonsace.hardware.com.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sunday mornings at 10:15 on Sports on a Sunday morning, and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show on Cardinals Radio, KMOX.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt. I'm Cardinals outfielder Lars Nootbaar.
I'm Woodson Contreras. I'm Paul DeYoung.
Now, Chris and Amy give you the birds.
I'm Jordan Hicks, and you're listening to the show on KMOX.
A swing, and there's a high fly ball. That's hit to right center field and deep, and Benson makes the catch on the track, ending the game. A long, loud out number 3, and this ball game comes to an end. Benson takes extra bases away from Brendan Donovan, and the Reds won 2 out of 3, winning yesterday's game 8-4 and winning today 4-3.
Well, not great. They did win on Friday. Got to see that. We are joined now by Matt Pauley. We go to the Quiver River Electric guest line, and Matt is the sports fella here at KMOX. You hear him on pre and post game coverage for the Cardinals. Tonight, there will be a ball game. They'll take on the Giants. 5:50 is the pregame show. 6:45 first pitch against San Francisco. Matt Pauley, I think we've all been kind of waiting for another run like they had that 2-week run where they won a bunch of games. It was 10 of 13 they won. We're looking for them to look something like that, but they just really haven't put anything together over the course of multiple days lately.
No, they haven't. And that's a series they need to win. When you're playing the Cincinnati Reds at home and the Reds are in front of you, you have to win that series. And they didn't. They made a good number of mistakes. They played a pretty solid ball game on Friday. That made me kind of think, okay, maybe this is going to be the start of something. They'd won 2 in a row, and at that point, that felt like something. And then they followed that up with a couple more losses. So it's really frustrating right now. And I don't know what the answer is. I think that's the most frustrating thing about this for me is I think I know what the answers are not, but I don't know what the answers are. Like I keep saying over and over, I don't think firing Oliver Marmol fixes much of anything. But then if I'm going to say that, I need to be able to follow up and say, but these are the things they can do. And I'm stuck.
Well, let me add to that, because he did say after losing the series over the weekend, his quote is, We have to be perfect to win right now. We don't have the luxury of giving up extra outs or making a mistake or walking a guy. Now, that to me, I think he's right about that. But what I think that says is, and it might sound like an obvious idea where, well, yeah, of course you can't make mistakes. That's how you lose ball games. But some teams, the really good teams in baseball, when they do make mistakes, they're good enough to make up for them. I think it says a lot about the roster, that the roster just isn't good enough. So therefore, they have to be perfect in order to win. And that's a very difficult way to live.
So I was thinking about this last night. I haven't run the numbers yet. I'm going to. I'm sure I'll send a tweet out on it when I do. They were not great up until about the All-Star break last year, and then they turned it on. And they turned it on around the time that Albert Pujols turned it on, and then they kind of petered out down the stretch. The final month of the regular season wasn't great, and then the postseason wasn't great. I'm gonna run some numbers and try to figure out that period of time where Albert was just unstoppable. Look at what their record was during that time. Pull that out, and then look at the record all of last year plus what's happened this year. And I got it. It's not going to be pretty.
Okay, going back to the whole "we have to be perfect to win" right now, Ollie Marmol's quote. Right. To me, that's exactly points to the roster. It's exactly what Ranj said. This is a running analogy, so I apologize, but there's say I win a certain time in a marathon. Here's what I have to say. Man, if my training is perfect, if I don't get sick, make sure I get enough sleep, if the weather is perfect, I have a good day and the stars align, I can run that time. And it's potential for me to run this time that I want to run in this marathon. But my friend, who's a much more talented runner, she can have a bad day. She can be at 80% because she's kind of sick and can still run that time. And that's something that separates talent levels of rosters of athletes, or at least their expected performance. Is do the stars have to align for you to hit that mark, or can you hit that mark even when a few things go wrong? And the Cardinals cannot.
No, they can't. And from an offensive, we talked all offseason long, at least I did, about players without track records. And Nolan Arenado's got a track record. Paul Goldschmidt's got a track record. Wilson Contreras has one. We can argue yes or no on Tommy Edman. He's kind of the only sort of middle guy. And then there is not a single other position player who has a year-over-year track record. There's some guys who had a good year, like Tyler O'Neill had a good year a couple of years ago. But in terms of year-over-year production, there's nobody there beyond the guys that I mentioned. And what's maybe most surprising is that none of those guys have really taken huge step forwards. I knew it was a gamble because some of those guys I thought would take a step forward and some of those guys might take a step back. But for the most part, they're just not getting production out of the players that they really need them to get production out of. So, yeah, this is a roster issue. I think that's, at the end of the day, that's a 100% true thing to be able to say. We overvalued who this team was from a roster standpoint.
Jim Bowden, I don't always know if I pretty much I take things with a grain of salt when Jim says them, but he works for The Athletic. He is an analyst for them, and he is suggesting that Jack Flaherty could be on the trade block if it comes down to that. We are still quite a ways from that, about a month and a half, a little over a month and a half before we get there. August 1st is the deadline this year. From a lot of people that I've heard talking about it, outside observers, they think the Cardinals will add. At this point, I don't see how they do that this year, but would somebody like Flaherty be good somewhere else? Would they try to maximize some kind of return for somebody like him?
Yeah, so they should not add if they are in basically the position they're in right now. They are 8 games back and they're 12 games under 500. If they are not anywhere near 500 and they're more than 5 games back, they should not be adding. So I see where you're going there. If they're in that position, trading Jack Flaherty makes a lot of sense because I think there's a lot of question marks about if he's going to even be back with the team next year. If I had to put a percentage on it, I would go below 50 on a 50-50 mark. So when we talk about the starting pitchers that are going to be available at the deadline and how it's going to be an arms race and it's going to what you are going to get back for guys, Flaherty would be at the top of the list. Shane Bieber's name gets mentioned a ton from Cleveland. I think I think Flaherty would be right there with Bieber in terms of what you would be able to get back for him. There would be a lot of teams that'd be very interested in adding a Flaherty for their postseason run.
Okay, let's say, just hypothetically, that doesn't get better for the Cardinals, and they end the season 12 games under 500, and potentially they are sellers. They get rid of somebody. Is the goal to be good and a playoff, make a deep run in the playoffs next year? I'm not used to the Cardinals being this bad. So with some teams, they're going to be bad all the time, or we're going to take a few years to rebuild. That's not how the Cardinals operate. So is the goal to be, okay, we were bad this year, but we want to make a deep run next year?
Yeah, I think we're putting the cart in front of the horse a little bit right now because
Okay.
the Cardinals still absolutely have an opportunity to get back in this thing. And they've got, I still, as much as we may have overvalued talent, I still think they're the most talented team in the NL Central, even though the record does not say that they are. So I think there's still a legitimate shot that they get back in this. But in that hypothetical world where they do end up selling at the deadline, this is not we're going to try to get back in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road. It's a next year thing. I think that's what Cardinal fans absolutely expect. Plus, you cannot waste the years of Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. So if this just ends up continuing to be an absolute disaster this year and they never get into it, the focus at that point has to become on 2024, not anything beyond that.
Since Jordan Walker has been called up, he's gotten into one a couple of times. He has also been hitting the ball really hard, even if the results aren't there every single time. What have you liked or not liked about what Walker's provided them since he got called back up?
Yeah, I like how hard he's hitting the ball. That's the first thing there. And everything else will kind of come along. He had that 3-hit game on Friday night, which was really good. That was the perfect game for him because he was able to hit a home run, but then he was able to hit the ground balls hard enough that even when he hit ground balls, they were finding their way through. You don't want him to hit the ball on the ground as much as he is right now. You don't want him to be a singles hitter, but when he does hit the ball on the ground, if he hits it hard enough that it's able to find its way through, then that can just be that much more for him. Look, the defense still isn't there. That's the negative with Jordan Walker. Defensively, he is turning into a bit of a liability out there, so he has to hit enough to make up for his defense. I think he will. And the other thing I'd be worried about, I don't want the Cardinals taking him out of the lineup because they're worried about the defense. Like they knew what was going. They turned him into an outfielder last year, and now he's in the big leagues. And he was in high school like 2 years ago. So this is just part of the maturation of a young player. And when he's trying to learn hit big league pitching and play a fairly new position at the big league level, there's going to be times where he doesn't look great.
Don't you think at this point they got to just turn him loose and let him learn defensively, let him continue to learn as a hitter? He's 7 for his last 23, couple of home runs. He's slugging 600, which is a lot for people who don't really follow that. So he's been hitting the ball, and he's hitting over 300. If you want the old metric that you love, you're one of the traditionalists. He's hitting over 300 in the last 7 days. So, or last 7 games. Why not? This just seems like a perfect opportunity for a team that is struggling. I guess things could change here, and I hope they do, but why not just let him go and let him play and figure it out as he goes along instead of taking him out when Nootbaar's back?
And who else who's pushing him off the roster and who's pushing him out of the lineup? They're not getting offensive production. If this was a team that was 12 games above 500 and they had 3 outfielders who were playing at an all-star level, then it's a different conversation to be had. But they're starting Tommy Edman and Brendan Donovan in the outfield, a couple guys who are not supposed to be outfielders when the season got started. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. You let him go. I think it's really important that he gets his work in during the day. You don't want him hitting balls on the ground as much. Really work on that during batting practice in the cage, all the film work, all the other work that you do during the day. But then let him just be him when the games are going on, and eventually those two things are kind of merging together.
Let him succeed, let him fail. The more ABs he takes, the more plate appearances in the outfield, the more he does that, the closer he's going to get to being the player that they think they have. You know what I mean? Yeah. The more games you play, and they say it takes a ball player a long time to settle into himself, let him do that, because the more games under his belt, the closer to settling into himself as a player he's going to get. So
I agree.
Matt Pauley, what's on? Well, you've got the pregame show tonight, and then the postgame show. I guess that's that.
That is that.
That is that. We appreciate your time.
I appreciate you having me on. Hope you had fun at your at the block party over the weekend. Didn't you go to that?
Yeah, the Central West End cocktail party.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry, cocktail party. Excuse
Yes.
me. Block party, cocktail party.
Yeah.
Just a party.
Yeah, they do it up down there every year.
I went to a family picnic.
I went to the city game yesterday with my family, and
Nice.
it was great. I didn't know, it was the first time I'd gone as a fan, and I can't tell you how much fun we had. It was amazing. And then on Saturday, this is where you guys get really jealous.
Yeah.
We had a birthday party that my daughter was invited to at the old Build-A-Bear workshop. So we spent the day at Build-A-Bear.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We should have KMOX
Sounds-
Build-A-Bears with Chris and Amy.
Sounds fun.
Hey, Matt, I do have
Yes.
to say this. Even if people listening aren't soccer fans, don't you think that City Park is so amazing that your
Yeah,
family
I-
should go, the experience, the venue? It's awesome.
I didn't know what to expect going in because I hadn't been to a game as a
Mhm.
fan, and I'm not a soccer guy, and my wife is not a soccer person, and we had a 4-year-old, and we were worried about everybody standing up and whether or not she was going to be able to see. Like, we had all these worries about going in,
Yeah.
and it was one of the best sporting event experiences we've ever had. My wife loved every moment of it. Watching soccer at that level live, and we were 7 rows off the pitch.
Nice.
And watching it live is so much different than watching it on TV. I am a believer after attending the event live. It is so much fun.
And the chanting and the singing, right?
Yeah,
it's
it
just
was
so
great.
different than any
But, like,
other experience. It's
We
awesome.
got home and my wife immediately went to the website where they list all the cheers and everything because she was trying to figure out what was being said. It was so much fun.
LA's a good team too. So
They're not.
LA's a great team.
No, they stink.
They're the
that was
best.
a bad loss. That was a really
They
bad
didn't lose.
loss.
Didn't they tie?
Oh, that's a tie as a loss.
Did either
Come
of you
on, it's a
watch the
tie.
game?
No, I didn't. I missed it this weekend.
You were at the cocktail party.
I was at the cocktail. Yeah, man. Bro, you have no idea.
Anyway, well, good. I'm glad you had a good time. Glad the Pollies enjoyed it.
It was good. Yes.
Oh, I was thinking of LAFC. They're good. The Galaxy stink.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
that is what he said.
Wrong LA.
Yeah.
Bye, Matt.
Bye, guys.
That's Matt Pauley. Follow him on Twitter at Matt Pauley on air. You can follow us on Twitter at the
Mhm.
show KMOX.
And also you can call or text in because don't we want to hear from the people?
Yeah.
Text
Yeah. 314-436-7900.
about your comfort TV shows.
Oh, yes.
Because we all have comfort TV shows that we go to, right? When you need to feel relaxed, you need to get the day off your mind, you need to fall asleep, whatever it is. And comfort TV shows, some of them have been put in a perilous position with Netflix cutting down on password sharing.
Yeah, we will talk about that next on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
Get ready to celebrate KMOX Day at the ballpark. Returning to Busch Stadium Wednesday, August 30th. With a purchase of a special theme ticket, fans will take home an exclusive KMOX Cardinals Stein. Celebrating the all-time great, that's a winner, Jack McCall.
The winner, a World Series winner for the Cardinals.
Only fans that present their theme ticket at the distribution will be eligible to receive the item. Exchanges will not be available at distribution. KMOX Day at the ballpark, Wednesday, August 30th. Get your tickets now.
Refresh, restore, and protect your investment. environment. Call Zero Res to clean your business the right way so your floors and surfaces stay cleaner longer without the harmful chemicals the other guys use. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Ask for the DGS special.
Yes, with inflation, interest rate increases, and a possible recession looming, we are no doubt facing uncertain times in the housing market. But as a realtor with over 20 years of experience, I can tell you, if you're thinking of selling your home, now more than ever, you need a realtor to help you through these times while saving you money. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and we offer all of this for only 4%. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Why be ordinary when you can be a cancer crusader? At Pedal the Cause, thousands of extraordinary people have stepped up to fuel the best and the brightest ideas in cancer research, giving 100% to save lives here in St. Louis and around the world. Together, we are creating real impact in the fight against cancer. Even if you don't ride a bike, you can get involved and be part of this feel-good event. Join us at pedalthecause.org.
For the first time since 2020, the third edition of the Karen's Cup. Beginning June 3rd, players will compete for a $180,000 prize fund. This tournament features 10 of the top female chess players in the world, including returning champion Hampi Koneru, along with top-rated American Irina Krush. It's one of the most decisive classical tournaments in chess that you won't want to miss. Catch all the action on the St. Louis Chess Club YouTube and Twitch channels.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. Our goal to bring awareness to local organizations and share how they're bettering our community. This month, Blake Travanzo with Busey invited Linda Huntspawn to shine a light on the work being done by Castle, the Community Action Agency of St. Louis, to assist low-income people out of poverty conditions. Listen to Building Community with Busey Bank at KMOX.com/community banking.
There's never been a better time to get that engagement ring or fine diamond jewelry. Right now at Diamonds Direct, our most exciting offer ever. You can get instant savings up to $5,000 off any purchase or enjoy special financing for up to 5 whole years. Either way, you save big. You can't miss this limited time offer. Design your perfect ring and get our most gorgeous and most flexible financing options. Now through June 30th at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get details, store hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com. On approved credit.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Internationally acclaimed vocalists, the Ambassadors of Harmony, invite you to Acapella Magic. One night only, June 17th at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Call the box office 314-516-4949 or online at AOH.org.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. No one should be injured or be the victim of assault when using a rideshare service. These companies need to be held accountable.
Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Dude, I'm here for the show.
What show? St. Louis, this is your show.
The show.
The show on KMOX.
Quit yelling in the middle of the break. Amy Marks, Chorus, Chris Ranji on KMOX. A survey done by CableTV.com, so you know it's reputable. They polled 1,000 Americans. 87% of the respondents say they have a comfort show that they turn to again and again. So it is exactly what you think it is, a show that you put on when you just want to feel warm and cozy or whatever. 87%. So we're talking 9 out of every 10 Americans basically has something like that. Only 52% had even heard of the term comfort show until then. I hadn't heard of it until this survey, but the idea makes total sense, and clearly I have one. Here's mine. If it's not Seinfeld, which is probably number one, it's Ghost Adventures. I don't know why, but I just feel great when I watch Ghost Adventures.
And you know what else? It has been your favorite for years.
A long time.
This is not like this year it's Ghost Adventures. I think the entire time that I've known you, years and years, It's been Ghost Adventures.
The obvious choice for most people would be something like Ted Lasso, but it only lasted 3 seasons. It was like a very quick thing, and then it's over, and now it's over for good. So I don't feel like I can use that one because I don't go back to it all the time to watch. And that's part of what a comfort show is. It's something that you have already seen or know very well, and you watch over and over and over again.
Yeah.
The 3 most watched comfort shows, can you take a guess of what they are? And 2 of the 3 you should be able to nail pretty quickly.
Friends.
Yep, that's number 1.
The Office.
That's number 2.
Comfort show. Friends. The Office.
And number 3, this one is wild to me.
Okay. Oh, wait. Yellowstone.
No.
I don't know.
Star Trek.
Oh, Star Trek.
That one's really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends and The Office made sense. The third one, I could not even tell you. Okay.
Yeah, what's your comfort show and why? Tell us. 314-436-7900. Couldn't think of the phone number. We'll recap the show next on KMOX.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait. Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
She's moving to Georgia.
Jadis Podiatry Clinic's top nurse quit, leaving her business toes up.
We've got 6 procedures and 3 major surgeries in the next 2 days.
She needs a new RN who can think on their feet.
There's no way I can do all these procedures on my own.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Bo for Reinhold Electric. You know how you can tell Reinhold Electric is the right electrician for whatever your job is at your home or your business? Is because you see Reinhold trucks everywhere. They're on the roads, they're at the airports, they're at homes, they're at businesses. Heck, I was on my way to Minnesota about a month ago, and I saw Reinhold trucks in the middle of Iowa. If you need an electrician, call on Reinhold Electric. Their number is 314-631-1158. That's 314-631-1158 at ReinholdElectric.com.
Hey guys, it's Dave and Rachel from The Dave Glover Show.
So Smart Mouth is the only mouth rinse in the world that has a chemical reaction that makes sure that your bad breath is gone for 12 hours at a time, which means 24 hours a day, 0 bad breath.
Yeah, all you have to do is rinse twice and you are covered for 24 hours. That means you never have bad breath. Plus, there's a product to fit whatever your needs are. To learn more, go to their website, smartmouth.com/Glover. And while you're there, you can get a coupon for $2.50 off.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, KMOX listeners, Roger Wigginton here, Don Rogers Limited, 6727 West Main in Belleville. Well, Father's Day is right around the corner, June 18th, as a matter of fact. And for those of you that don't know, we have a great men's department. Now's the time to stop by, pick out something for dad or grandpa or Uncle Joe or your significant other. Our men's shorts department looks great. Loads of fabulous sports shirts, knits, wovens, casual wear, great fitting jeans, suits, sport coats. We've got it, the right look, the right price, but especially the right fabric. Our fabrics have the moisture wicking property, cool, comfortable, travelable, wash and wear, easy care. So don't forget, Father's Day is right around the corner. Park at the front door, walk in and get waited on. We gift wrap it for free. Don't forget, Don Rogers Limited, 6727 West Main in Belleville. We're open every Tuesday through Saturday, 9:30 to 4. And as always, I thank you so very much for listening to our commercial.
Awarded 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year by the Missouri Broadcasters Association, KMOX.
At 12 noon, the news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's a sunny sky, 67 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. Former St. Louis Alderman Brandon Bosley faces federal wire fraud charges. The indictment unsealed today accuses Bosley of trying to get a repair shop owner to charge him more for damage to his vehicle in order to defraud an insurance company. Former President Donald Trump is headed to Miami ahead of tomorrow's appearance in federal court. He is accused of mishandling classified documents and lying about it to the FBI. Mr. Trump is expected to be formally arraigned around 2 p.m. Central. CBS News chief election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa is in Miami and has been talking to sources on what might happen tomorrow.
Behind the scenes, his lawyers are trying to figure out who's going to show up with him. There's been a shakeup in his legal team recently, and politically, he's running for president as he faces this legal challenge. Many Republicans, for now, as we saw in Georgia over the weekend, are standing with Trump, but others have reservations about what this all means for his presidential campaign.
Shortly after Mr. Trump is arraigned, he will fly to his golf course in New Jersey, where he will deliver remarks. Dental pain has led the White House to scrap President Biden's public schedule for today.
The president reported the pain yesterday, had a root canal, and then a second one this morning after more discomfort. The White House specifies he was not put under anesthesia. The president skipped a morning reception for college athletes on the South Lawn.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Where Vice President Harris filled in. The White House later announced the president's other two events are postponed until tomorrow. An Oval Office meeting with NATO's Secretary General and evening remarks to diplomats. Sagar Magani, Washington.
The Denver Nuggets look to take the team's first NBA title.
It's now or never for the Miami Heat, down 3-1 to the Nuggets. Head coach Eric Spoelstra says to stage an epic finals comeback, his team needs to recharge its three-point shooting.
We need to do a better job, just overall, with our offense, some of the details and how we can shift their defense. They definitely made an adjustment to try to stay at home on our three-point shooters. It's not the first time we have faced that.
Miami's only win in the series was in Denver, and the Heat have won 7 times away from home in the playoffs. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
The KMOX Business Desk. You may not get an interview with a real person the next time you apply for a job.
This is Megan Lynch. Companies are turning to artificial intelligence to interview candidates.
Yes. People are interviewing with bots.
Stacey Haller, Chief Career Advisor at ResumeBuilder.com, 4 in 10 companies say they're using the technology.
They could be talking to a screen that is presenting them questions, and then they're being recorded in their answers.
Haller tells KMOX 64% of those businesses report using AI as an early screening tool. However, 78% say they're concerned it could screen out good candidates.
The Dow from Stifel's up 109 points to 33,986. A vehicle fire on 370 going west at 94. The right 3 lanes are closed. A vehicle fire 370 going west at 94. The right 3 lanes are closed.
This afternoon, sun and some clouds, a high of 75 degrees. And for tonight, clear to partly cloudy, still cool, low 57. Temperatures rebounding for tomorrow with a sunny to partly cloudy sky, high of 84. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Benz on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Mers Goodwill. Donate your vehicle today to Mers Goodwill and get 4 Field Box tickets to a 2023 Cardinals game. It's easy and towing is free. Donate online at mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Cardinals. Give hope, give local, give goodwill. At the moment, it's 67 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info at cardinals.com. Time to rewind the show. This is the show recap.
Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji, final hour until the Glover crossover. We'll hang out for that 1 o'clock hour coming up here on KMOX. We started by discussing the unsealed indictment of former President Donald Trump, who is currently on his way to Florida. The arraignment happens tomorrow in Miami, and it was just about an hour ago that his motorcade was on the way to New Jersey, to Bedminster, so that he could fly to Miami. And we started off talking about the tone, the tenor of where we are now, and all these people have been riled up by, I think, people in positions of power who have told them that this is a witch hunt, that this is just strictly political. I just don't buy that. And I'm sorry. I know a lot of people think it is, but I don't. I don't think the Department of Justice and FBI go through with this knowing everything they know about the environment in our country now and how nasty things can get, they're not going down this path unless they feel confident real crimes were committed and need to be punished. And let me add this other part. If the pushback is, well, they need to investigate Biden then, and they need to investigate Clinton, which they did, but they need to go after those two, and they need to be punished if they commit crimes. Guess what? Totally agree with you.
Well,
100%. This is not I am not behind any of the people that I may have voted for in the past blindly. If those people screw up, I want them held accountable too.
Well, and again, the House Republicans, they are looking into Joe Biden and the Biden family.
And they've looked at Hillary too for years.
And there's a special committee, and Kevin McCarthy's on it, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is on this committee that is looking into the conduct of the Biden family. And I can tell you that the Republicans in the House who control the House, if they had enough information, if they had enough evidence of criminal wrongdoing on the Biden family, they would pursue that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They're not finding it.
Absolutely.
That's the key. With Hillary Clinton, again, I would say that she should have been charged with gross negligence. I do think that she was careless. She set up non-governmental private and emails and communication forms and then used those avenues for classified information and sensitive conversations. I would say that she knew what she was doing. That is gross negligence. However, James Comey set up a standard and said, while it was, quote, extreme carelessness, it wasn't gross negligence. Okay, fine. She wasn't charged. Let's use Comey's standard then for Trump. And we know that there was willful intent. We see the conversations. There are boxes and boxes of not just classified documents, but top secret, the most sensitive information regarding national security, our vulnerabilities, our allies' vulnerabilities, that he was not only grossly negligent with, but had deliberate intentions and actions to hide or destroy those documents.
And I know there are people who believe the Department of Justice and the FBI are liberal organizations. You're trying to tell me there aren't conservatives in any of those organizations? Come on, man. People in positions of power in both organizations, those are there's no way they are liberal organizations just because they happen to be investigating somebody you like. That's not what that means. So I don't know. And it does have to play out. There is no definitive guilt on his part. There's a legal process that has to play out. But I'm not a person who is telling you already the guy's guilty. What I'm telling you is let this happen. The investigation has gone on. They seem to have been thorough about it. There's going to be a trial, or maybe not. I don't know what'll happen, but they are heading down that direction. Let that happen first. And to automatically presume he is absolutely innocent, that is also very wrong.
And it doesn't mean that there aren't certain politically motivated actions taken. For instance, in the state of New York, I do think that Alvin Bragg's indictment of Trump was more politically motivated.
Seems that way.
Yes, I get that. And with Hillary Clinton, you could say, well, why wasn't she charged? Why did Comey change the standard? Well, for whatever reason, he didn't charge her. However, she was still investigated 2 weeks
and testified
before the election.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a potentially election altering investigation. It worked against her.
Yep.
So you could, which one is it? Was it bad timing because they investigated her before the election to her detriment? Or
well, really, it was the announcement of the investigation. Yes. So if Comey doesn't make that announcement 2 weeks prior to the election, Trump may have never been president in the first place. So if you're going to argue that they are weighted one way or another, well, what happened in 2016 then? Were they a right-wing group? Was the FBI now a conservative group because they made a big show of going after Hillary Clinton right before the election? You can't have it both ways.
And I also want to acknowledge, right, when it comes to collusion, you're right. They did not find that Trump himself colluded with Russia. However, there was Russian interference, and we know that former Trump aide Paul Manafort was sharing campaign information with Russia in 2016. So there was that. it's kind of like you can't wear a jersey when you are discussing the actions of these politicians and the investigations surrounding them. It's just because Hillary Clinton was not charged does not mean that Trump shouldn't be charged. I argue that both of them should have been charged.
We talked to Thane Rosenbaum, CBS legal analyst, about it. If you missed it, the interview is on our podcast page on KMOX.com and the free Odyssey app, AUDACY. Also a conversation with Fortune Feimster, a comedian and an actor. She is in the new series on Netflix called FUBAR. It's with Arnold. Arnold's in it. And then she's got a tour coming up in December at the Factory. She'll be performing there live. FortuneFeimster.com for tickets. And then June 24th, she's here with Bert Kreischer and a bunch of other comedians at Enterprise Center. So that's happening on the 24th. Amy nearly got food poisoning at a picnic.
I didn't get food poisoning. What I found out is 40% of food poisoning outbreaks in the restaurant industry. Nope, not from expired food, not from meat that was left out a little too long. It's from employees who show up sick with things like norovirus or salmonella, and they're touching things and the germs spread to the food. For some reason, that makes it even grosser.
Amy said that she doesn't like salad bars. She doesn't like the handles on the spoons and the
olive bars.
The olive bar when the handle falls back into the olives.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then people are either reaching in or they just get a new spoon, which means the old spoon with all the hand germs. It's soaking. It's
There was
marinating.
a video that was circulating a couple of years ago from a Mariano's, which is a local grocery store in the Chicago area. It's kind of like it's more like it's bigger than a Straub's, but it's kind of like that place. And there's video of a dude tasting the soup with the ladles. He's using the ladles and he's tasting the soups.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
I would die. I would
Anyway, so I get that. We had a texter on this from a 618. It said, I thought Amy was the perfect woman. You did? I am wrong. She is much, much, much too clean for me. I've eaten at hundreds of salad bars, picked the utensils out of the lettuce many times.
Gross.
Never had a problem. You guys would never make it in the real world.
He is not wrong. I'm barely making it now.
How can you pick the handle that's been touched by 36 people?
Or like,
and it's in the food.
Pasta salad, like creamy sauce pasta salad, and people are reaching in and the handle's all creamy.
Yeah. So disgusting.
It's so gross.
Should be embarrassed.
Ugh.
We mentioned the comfort shows.
Well,
87% of people have comfort shows. And what it means is you just watch an old show that you're already familiar with over and over again for comfort. And 3 out of every 5 people in this CableTV.com survey said they experience anxiety and that these shows help them with it. So watching a comfort show, almost 9 out of every 10 people say they have one. The 2 most popular, Friends and The Office. And for some reason, Star Trek is number 3.
I get it. I mean, I don't get it, but that makes sense. I think it's all the dads. Every dad that has a comfort show, it's either MASH or Star Trek.
My dad loved both.
Yeah. And I will say this too. I wonder if the need for comfort shows is continuing to drive Netflix subscriptions, because remember, big bad Netflix was cutting back on password sharing because we've all shared Netflix passwords. Well, they finally implemented the stricter rules on password sharing, and when they first did that, the first couple of days between May 25th and May 28th, Netflix saw the 4 single biggest days for U.S. signups. The streaming service saw nearly 100,000 daily signups both on May 26th and May 27th. So people weren't mad enough about the password sharing crackdown to stop watching their comfort shows.
Well, all the other apps are going to start cracking down. A lot of them, and I think the one I just looked at recently was HBO Max, which is now just Max, and they said that they discourage the practice of sharing passwords, but they can't prevent it. I think that means they can't prevent it yet,
Mhm.
but eventually they're going to get to the point where they do.
Can I add this real quick for context? So again, what the new Netflix rule is, it's one Netflix account per household. So if you're not at that geographic location, you can't use the password. The signups for Netflix, the COVID lockdowns, right? It peaked like around 70,000, 75,000 signups. This was more than that. This was 100,000. This
Wow.
is more than the peak of
Yeah.
COVID.
One bit of analysis from this, which I thought was interesting, that with the influx of streaming services, there's so much content available that you get the, what's it called? The choice paralysis, where there are
Yeah.
so many different. How many times have you opened up Netflix or any other streaming service and just scrolled? What am I going to watch? What am I going to watch? Keep scrolling. And before you know it, it's been 40 minutes and you haven't picked anything yet. That people just default to a show they know already and like, I'll just watch this again. That a lot of people, that's the direction they go because they don't want to have to make a decision because there are too many choices.
Hey, do you know what my comfort show is?
No, yes.
Well,
It's stupid, but go ahead.
the Barefoot Contessa.
Oh my God.
Or the Pioneer Woman, but the Barefoot
The
Contessa.
Pioneer Woman?
Yeah. It's
That's
both
kinda like
cooking
you.
shows. I know.
We had a lot of people who said it, that they have their comfort shows. Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon. Everybody Loves Raymond. Modern Family, 2.5 Men.
Oh my gosh.
And this person here loves Ghost Adventures. Gotta
Really?
love that scared Aaron face. Your heads with that?
I can't.
God, I love this show. It's the best.
I was not going to share this, but you just brought up Everybody Loves Raymond. Weirdest dream last night. So my dad was out on the back patio of my parents' house, having like a men's group Bible study or something. And the doorbell rang, but I was in the shower. So I had to get out and I'm like wrapping towels around me. You know how you're like, oh, I got to get the door. And I wrap, and it was Ray Romano wanted to go to my dad's Bible study. I have no idea why. I'm not even kidding. So I'm like, oh, he's like, I'm late for your dad's Bible study. And it's Ray Romano. I'm like, okay, let me get him. So I'm running around.
Why did you tell this story now? We have to go to break. And you bring up these stories.
I just
We have to
remembered.
go to break.
Okay, well, anyway, here's what happened. So I've got all these towels. I'm holding all the towels, and I'm trying to get Ray Romano to the back porch for my dad's Bible study, and I can't open any of the doors. There's a whole series of French double doors, like French doors, like
Oh my
double
God.
doors, and I can't open them, and I can't get them outside.
That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. We'll tell you what's happening.
2 ways to listen
Never
to
mind.
KMOX in your car. 98.7 in the city, 11:20 a.m. further out. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Jerry Adler had their kitchen remodeled by 3-Day Kitchen and Bath and talks about the experience.
If we had only met Darren when we started doing this construction, I would have been a lot happier girl than I am now. My husband, when he heard the 3-Day Kitchen and Bath would be in 3 days and out in 3 days, did not believe me.
Did he change his mind?
When he saw that 3-Day Kitchen and Bath came in and was gone in 3 days, he found that was the best experience we have had. Darren worked with us on our budget so that we could have the kitchen we needed without feeling like we were completely out of our league. They were professional, cared about the other part of the house. The work is beautiful. I wanted to give them the biggest hug ever.
Top quality materials and workmanship. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. On the web at 3daykitchen.com.
This is Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates. For the best eye doctors, you need to see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. YourEyeDoc.com, 314-966-5000.
Can you imagine being free again?
You're free again.
A songbird in a crystal sky.
A dolphin in the Caribbean.
A puppy exploring a big backyard.
You escaped the handcuffs of the junk that held you captive.
You escaped because you called 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Our clean and shiny trucks haul away your distractions.
And leave your home sparkling with joy.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Fairwinds River's Edge is an award-winning independent living community located in the heart of St. Charles. Voted Best Independent Living by U.S. News and World Report. Fairwinds River's Edge provides the life-enhancing independent living services you need to support your best self. We believe that joy isn't just for the young. It's for the young at heart. With services and amenities handling life's necessities, you can dance and enjoy live entertainment at happy hour. Play a competitive game of beanbag baseball with your neighbors. Participate in an aqua fitness class in a warm water pool, or go out to Crown Candy for lunch. Say goodbye to home maintenance, cooking, and cleaning, and hello to fun. In our active community for adults 55 plus, you'll cultivate connections and make meaningful memories in a community that feels like home. Join the fun at Fairwinds River's Edge on Thursday, June 15th at our Taste of Summer party, where we'll have live entertainment. Call 636-754-2317 to RSVP.
Is your old garage door a real clunker? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards the new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old opener too. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Convenient, free in-home estimates. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
Do you call your grandson when online bill pay is the only option? Are you nervous that you will make a mistake when using a computer, so you avoid using them completely? Maybe you would like to be better connected to friends and family from afar, but you don't know where to start when it comes to reliable internet. Free help is available so you can unlock the power of technology. Find a tech coach in your area at digitalequity.missouri.org. No need to type www, just digitalequity.missouri.org. Brought to you by MoreNet.
All the news and all that matters to you. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. What's going on in wine country, man?
Well, Ron, it's not going swimmingly. The Florida-based Hoffman family of companies, which is the company that purchased a bunch of wineries in Augusta and is spending tens of millions of dollars to reshape and rebrand Augusta as this wine country haven, which they say they want to rival the wine country of California.
Okay.
Seems a little ambitious. I don't think anything can rival the wine country of California, at least not here in the U.S. They have been hitting some roadblocks. So there were 2 luxury hotels that they were going to start construction on, a convention center, all these new vineyards. And right now, they're still 2 years later in the planning stages when at least one of the hotels was supposed to be open already. Like they were supposed to be way further along. They were also going to have a 12-hole golf course. They were hoping to have helicopter rides and this whole list of activities. But time and again, they're running into roadblocks. The terrain has proved challenging, which is why they're a bit behind on the hotel planning, why they're behind on the golf courses. And currently, the forward progress that they've made is they've had a town hall on a 24-foot by 24-foot gazebo in the park.
That sounds lovely. So what's the problem?
Well, they're having trouble getting that approved, the gazebo.
Oh.
Yeah. And so it's really, to me, does it feel like the beginning of the end of this grand plan? And I hope not. And again, this is just me reading it saying, okay, wow, we've got bigger issues. If you want to build this new wine country mecca right here in the Midwest and you're arguing over a gazebo, because they bought a lot of the major wineries in Augusta, like Balducci, So these families sold their wineries to this company, and this company keeps hitting roadblocks. I hope they don't give up pursuing building up Augusta.
Well, so it just seems like when something nice happens in the area, the general St. Louis area, there's always some kind of roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel that way to you?
Yeah.
Or am I assigning something that's not there to this?
Again, 2 luxury hotels, those were delayed, supposed to be done. Challenging terrain means they have to completely redesign the 12-hole golf course. They're completely scrapping the helicopter rides, and they're even getting pushed back on the long-awaited overhaul of Augusta's already existing Town Square Park. Yes, these are big obstacles. This is not the main part of the story, but can I ask, who wants to play a 12-hole golf course? I mean,
Well, I think this seems very easy to understand to me.
does it?
Yeah, you want to play more than 9, but you don't have time for 18.
I have never once heard a golfer say, you know what? 18 holes is too many. 9 isn't enough. You know what we need? A 12-hole golf course. What do you do with a 12-hole golf course? A 12-hole, I think it's a par 3.
Look, we determined that baseball games were taking way too long, and they put in a pitch clock.
Mm-hmm.
And now the games are ending in like 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's great. It's the perfect amount of baseball because you have baseball tomorrow. That's all this is. They're just shortening the games a bit. Instead of being on the course all damn day, you could play 12 holes, go to the clubhouse, and have a few more pops.
12 holes it feels like half of something. It feels like you
No.
just walked off the course.
It feels like a 1.5 9-hole
Do the
games.
math.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Hoffman Company announced it would spend $150 million purchasing existing wineries, planting new vineyards, constructing a hotel and convention center. Since then, they've purchased or renovated more than 50 buildings, but they are hitting a lot of roadblocks.
We're supposed to talk to Geezer Butler. You know who that is?
Yep. Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath, baby. That's next on KMOX.
I'm Tom Ackerman. Debbie Monterey and I start your day at 5 a.m. with the morning's headlines, traffic, weather, and sports.
I'm Megan Lynch. At 8 o'clock, we go beyond the soundbite. We give you context, perspective, big-name guests, and in-depth conversation.
It is our pleasure to bring in the mayor of the city of St. Louis, Tashara Jones.
The nation's debt ceiling. Let's talk about it with Margaret Brennan, moderator of CBS's Face the Nation.
Look who just walked into the studio.
Hockey Hall of Famer Chris Pronger. Total Information AM, 5 to 10 here on KMOX.
Your next Ozarks adventure is in Springfield, Missouri. Float on the river or hike on the trails, and then finish the day at the most crave-worthy dining and craft beverage spots in the city before taking in some great live entertainment in a historic theater on Route 66. Springfield is also home to the Springfield Cardinals baseball team, many caves ready to explore, and the wonders of Wildlife National Museum and Aquarium. Plan your trip at springfieldmo.org. Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
RENNER, forward and back. Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. Excited to share with you about Renner Garage Door. Spells the same thing, forward and backward. RENNER. Formerly the St. Louis Door Company, Renner's been selling, servicing, and installing garage doors in St. Louis since 1966. So if you need to repair or replace your garage door or opener, Renner does that. So call Renner or check out their special deals at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, the garage door company that does. Giddy up!
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Steve All of the All Financial Group doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. He'll develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824 for your personal portfolio x-ray. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. BWA and All Financial Group, LLC are separate companies.
At 12:30, we've got 68 degrees downtown at the Arch. Donald Trump is traveling to Florida ahead of a history-making federal court appearance Tuesday on dozens of felony charges, accusing him of illegally hoarding classified documents and thwarting the Justice Department's efforts to get the records back. An Associated Press analysis found that fraudsters potentially stole more than $280 billion in COVID-19 relief funding. Another $123 billion was wasted or misspent. Combined, the loss represents 10% of the $4.2 trillion the U.S. government has dispersed in COVID relief aid. Changes happening to Metro bus service on both sides of the river starting today. Metro Transit says schedule adjustments affect nearly 3 dozen routes. The goal is to improve reliability and consistency. A workforce shortage is partly to blame. There are no changes to the Metrolink train schedule at this time. Right now, we've got some utility work on 340 going west at Tienda Drive. All of the lanes are closed on 340 west at Tienda Drive. A vehicle fire they've been working on 370 west at 94. The right 3 lanes have been closed. Sunny to partly cloudy today with a high 75. Tonight's low 57. Tomorrow's high 84. Sponsored by the Flat Roof Company. Quality workmanship at a competitive price. If you have leaks in your commercial or industrial flat roof, there is only one company to call, the Flat Roof Company, because they have a great reputation and provide excellent service at great prices. Call the Flat Roof Company at 314-995-2700. Flat roofs are all they do. 68 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
If you're trying to sell a home, there's only one agent in town that I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
For the first time since 2020, the third edition of the Karen's Cup. Beginning June 3rd, players will compete for a $180,000 prize fund. This tournament features 10 of the top female chess players in the world, including returning champion Hampi Koneru, along with top-rated American Irina Krush. It's one of the most decisive classical tournaments in chess that you won't want to miss. Catch all the action on the St. Louis Chess Club YouTube and Twitch channels.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt. Hi, I'm Miles Michaelis.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It's the Cards and Giants tonight. Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX here on this lovely Monday. We go back to the Quiver River Electric guest line today. And joining us, we are very happy to have Geezer Butler, bassist, founding member of Black Sabbath, also author of a new book called Into the Void, From Birth to Black Sabbath and Beyond. And Geezer is with us today on KMOX. How are you doing, Geezer?
I'm very well, thank you very much.
Well, can we call you, can we just pretend you still live here? Can we call you St. Louis native? Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right, good. That's what we're going to say. St. Louis native Geezer Butler is with us. And we were just talking about that off the air, about how you spent quite a bit of time here in St. Louis in your day.
Yeah, we moved there in 1980. We were lived on and off there between St. Louis and England for about 20 years. And our 2 kids were born at St. John's Mercy Hospital. So we were back and forth.
And then with the St. Louis connection, I feel like we continue to have that. Of course, there's the famous Ozzy Osbourne mugshot in the St. Louis Blues jersey, and you're a St. Louis Cardinals fan. So there you go.
Yes. Went to see won the World Series against, I think it's the Texas Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
And I was there when Mark McGwire got his 72 runs. 72 homers.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know you were there at that.
I didn't either.
What was that like?
It was great. It was really, both sets of fans were like, gave him a massive applause when he broke the record, which you'd never get that in English soccer.
No, you never cheer for the other team ever.
Never.
So what is your team? You've got a Premier League team, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Aston Villa.
Oh, yeah. They were good this year, weren't they?
Yeah, they finished 7th from the top, so which is really good. They're going to be in Europe next season, so that's good.
Well, in your new book, you talk a lot about your time, obviously, with Black Sabbath, your life leading up to that moment. But I didn't realize that you came up with the name for the band. Initially, it was Polka Tulk and then Earth, but another band had the name Earth. So you suggested Black Sabbath because you had a nightmare with an apparition in it. Can you describe that?
Yeah, I woke up one. I don't know whether I was having a nightmare or whether it really happened. And I looked out of the window and there was like this shape looking in at me at the window for like fleeting seconds. And that day at rehearsal, I told Ozzy about it, and he came up with the line, "What is this that stands before me?" I called the song Black Sabbath, and then eventually we called the band Black Sabbath.
And so you had this idea, you named the band, you went back to the bandmates with it. Were they all receptive to it right away, or did you have to convince them?
No, they love the name because it's because the music. The first song that we wrote was called Black Sabbath, and it was a heavy riff, so it sort of went with the sound of the music that we were doing.
With heavy metal, not only is Black Sabbath was named the greatest metal band of all time, you guys helped create the entire genre. Did you know how groundbreaking you were at the time when you first started writing the songs and playing your music, that there really wasn't anything else out there like it?
No, we just thought we were just another heavy rock band, which is, and it wasn't until later that, in fact, it was a derogatory review of one of our gigs. The reviewer said, "This isn't music, it just sounds like a load of heavy metal being banged together." And by the time that review got to England, the English press started calling our music heavy metal, and it was a derogatory term at the time, and then it turned around and became, the name for the genre of music.
So you guys didn't necessarily feel that you were rocking harder than any of these other heavy rock bands?
No, we just thought we knew we were heavy, but it was just we just classed ourselves as a heavy or hard rock band.
I'm very fascinated in how different genres of music will have a lot of similarities or influences. And I had read that you had said Paul McCartney was a big influence for you in terms of playing bass. And when you think of him, you don't really think of, it's not heavy metal. It's Paul McCartney. It's Beatles, right? It's totally different. But how influential was he in you becoming a bass player?
His bass playing wasn't exactly. I just loved the Beatles anyway when they came about. They were like my generation, Elvis kind of thing. But the main influence for me was Jack Bruce when Cream started up, and I just loved the way he played bass, and that's the kind of thing that I wanted to play. So he was my main inspiration.
And you have played with Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, Frank Zappa, The Who. Are there any collaborations or moments when you played with another rock icon that stands out to you?
I think Frank Zappa's always been one of my big favourites. I've always been a fan of his stuff, and so that was brilliant when we got to play with Iron Man with him.
I know Geezer, and we're visiting with Geezer Butler with Black Sabbath. And a lot of times as the years go on, people grow apart, and bands who were at one time really close may not be necessarily anymore. What is your relationship with Ozzy like now?
Well, the same as with the other members of the band. We were on the road touring together and recording in each other's presence for like the past 50 years. So now, like the last people you want to see are people in the band. So I don't really have a relationship with any of them anymore. We've all gone our separate ways. I was gonna do a get together with Ozzy and Tony last year for the Commonwealth Games to do, because it was held in our hometown of Birmingham in England. And of course, I got COVID, so I couldn't go. And so it's just left to Ozzy and Tony to do the gig.
Well, you have your new book, Into the Void, From Birth to Black Sabbath and Beyond. It went on sale just a few days ago on June 6th. Had you been wanting to write a book and tell your story for a long time? Did this just come up suddenly and you decided to do it on a whim?
Well, it came together on when I was locked down and the pandemic, and I just wanted to put something together for me grandkids and their kids and everything else to remember me by, because when my mum and dad died, I thought of 1,000 questions that I should have asked them, because I didn't really know, they were always just there. I didn't think they had lives before me, kind of thing. And I just wanted to write something for my grandkids and their kids and such and so forth. So in the lockdown, I just put all this stuff together. And my wife read it. And she said, "Oh, you should do this as a book." And so that's what's happened.
Do you think when people read this book, they'll also have a bit more insight to the lyrics of your song and make that connection of, oh, I can see where he pulled from this part of his life, or he was inspired by this?
Yeah, I think they will. I think Sabbath has been totally misunderstood from the beginning. Everybody thought we were Satanists and all that kind of stuff, into the occult. But in fact, our songs were a warning against that kind of thing, and anti-war and all that kind of stuff.
What do you think if Black Sabbath were just getting started as a band today? Would the messaging be the same? You think because the world is a little insane, and we talk about it all the time here. It's a news station, so we're constantly talking about things that are happening around us. What would Black Sabbath be like now?
Still protesting against the bad things in life. I'm not sure who'd be listening to it, because the way things have changed in music now, people go on Spotify or iTunes or wherever, download a couple of songs, and that seems to be it. I think albums don't seem to be what they used to be. I don't think albums selling millions anymore, unless you're Taylor Swift or somebody that big. But I think a lot of metal bands, it's really hard for metal bands to survive now.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting idea that you mentioned, because it used to be that when bands would write music or artists would write and they would put an album together, a lot of times there was a progression from song 1 to song 10 or 12 or whatever, that it was supposed to be listened to as one big thing. And now it's just not like that anymore. Is it better or worse?
It seems to have gone back to, like, when I was growing up in the 60s and 70s, it was mainly singles that you'd buy, and then like as rock became big, people would go out and buy albums. But now it seems to have gone back to the single side of it now. People just seem to be content with buying or listening to 2 or 3 songs from each artist. They're not really interested in listening to a whole album anymore.
Yeah.
So it's completely changed that way.
So I had seen that you had said something about just you don't want to do anything anymore. You're at that point, you've retired from music. And after writing this book, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm here on holiday with my grandkids at the moment. So I'm, really looking forward to seeing them growing up and just relaxing after all these years.
Yeah, it couldn't have been relaxing being in Black Sabbath and hanging out with Ozzy and doing everything that you guys did.
You lived like 10 lifetimes.
Oh my gosh, it sounds exhausting.
That's why it's time to relax now.
You didn't sleep for a couple decades.
Yeah, I'm really curious. When you're on tour, I'd love to know how much sleep you actually got.
In the old days, not very much.
Yeah.
But then when we all got old, then we couldn't wait to get to bed every night.
Even Black Sabbath has got to sleep, Ron.
Hey, man, I know. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Geezer, we appreciate your time. Good luck with this book. It's called Into the Void: From Birth to Black Sabbath and Beyond. Thank you for giving us time. Enjoy your grandkids. Enjoy your life. And we're glad we got to talk to you today.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Chris and Amy.
Thank you.
That is Geezer Butler, founding member of Black Sabbath, with us here on KMOX.
I can't imagine that they remember a ton from the touring days, right?
Can I tell you real quick? There's a band called the Ides of March.
Uh-huh.
And they had The Vehicle, I think, is their number one song. They're from the 70s. And they live they're like in the Chicago suburbs, right?
Yeah.
So they would play at Sox games ahead of time. They would come and play that song, and they have a couple of others you might recognize. And I always found it funny because there were like 6 of them, 5 or 6 of them, and all the guys in the band just looked like middle-aged dudes that all settled into middle age, except for the lead singer who still had tight leather pants and purple hair. It was the best. Just awesome. All right. That's Amy Marks Course. I'm Chris Ranji. We'll come back and wrap things up. We've got more for you. Trust us on KMOX.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means, wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
She's moving to Georgia.
Jada's Podiatry Clinic's top nurse quit, leaving her business toes up.
We've got 6 procedures and 3 major surgeries in the next 2 days.
She needs a new RN who can think on their feet.
There's no way I can do all these procedures on my own.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. Our goal to bring awareness to local organizations and share how they're bettering our community. This month, Blake Travanzo with Busey invited Linda Huntsbund to shine a light on the work being done by Castle, the Community Action Agency of St. Louis, to assist low-income people out of poverty conditions. Listen to Building Community with Busey Bank at KMOX.com/community banking.
Who will dare to find a new way to think about energy? One that connects our lives like never before and creates a world where we can breathe easy. NewScale dared by making 24/7 carbon-free energy a reality with our Voyager SMR power plants. Let's see how bright the future can be when cleaner, safer energy is available to all. NewScale. Power to the world. Power for all humankind. Discover the future of energy at newscalepower.com.
Get ready to celebrate KMOX Day at the Ballpark, returning to Busch Stadium Wednesday, August 30th. With a purchase of a special theme ticket, fans will take home an exclusive KMOX Cardinals stein. Celebrating the all-time great That's a Winner Jack Buck call.
The winner! A World Series winner for the Cardinals!
Only fans that present their theme ticket at the distribution will be eligible to receive the item. Exchanges will not be available at distribution. KMOX Day at the Ballpark, Wednesday, August 30th. Get your tickets now.
Let's make room for 72 more families to stay together during extreme medical emergencies each day by supporting the Ronald McDonald House Charities of St. Louis Capital Campaign. Please visit rmhcstl.com and learn the ways you can donate.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
This planet is so incredibly beautiful that I can't get enough of it. I did 950 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail, and Good Feet was with me all the way. Your passion's important, but if your body aches and if your heel feels like you've got a nail stuck in it and won't come out, trust me, it's going to wear you down. The Good Feet store knew what they were talking about and took the time to really dial in what I needed. I hiked 84 miles in the Himalaya and to do it pain-free. You think I'm not grateful for Good Feet?
Get ready for your summer adventures. Come to the Good Feet store today. Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. You deserve comfort in your life. Come in for your free test walk today.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, so why don't we do something about it? With Neovitin Men's 50 Plus, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Formulated for men over 50, Neovitin Men's 50 Plus gives you B vitamins to support energy and our proprietary physician-formulated blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Do something about your health today with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus. Available at your local Schnucks and Deerbergs.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Life can be shattered in a moment. When that happens, you need a big law firm to fight for you. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. Call now, 314-720-8081.
Zero Res has the best deal of the summer for you right now. 20% off all services, carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, and air ducts. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Take advantage of these huge savings. Ask for the DGS special.
Amy Marks scores.
Fabulous.
Chris Ranji.
Unbelievable.
On the show.
A couple of text messages have come in to get to. Well, more than that, but just a couple we'll bring to you. First of all, this one says, OMG. Well, he says OMFG. Stop being boomers. Bands still make albums constantly.
Yeah, but they don't want to talk to us.
What? No, we're talking about how people listen to music. They don't listen front to back like you used to get a record and go listen to it because it's so easy to make a playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a poll done, a survey about 3 years ago. It's something like 9% of people like to listen to albums front to back. That's very low. You know, if you've got Spotify, if you got Amazon Music or YouTube Music, whatever you use, you can just, I like this song, this song, this song. It used to be if you wanted a playlist, you had to burn it into a CD or put it on tape, and that took a lot of effort. It's so easy now to just pick the songs you want, take 5 minutes doing it, and you have a full album.
So to our texter, for what it's worth, I am a millennial.
Also, do you know what a boomer is?
I know. I'm a millennial, and I do like albums front to back. I know I'm old school in that, but that's how I can tell I really like an artist or an album is really good, is if I'll listen to it all the way through.
Yep.
Because there aren't a lot of artists that I'll listen to all the way through. Yep, Spotify, I have playlists where it might have hundreds of different artists on them, and I could name one song from each artist. But my favorites, I'll listen to the album all the way through.
From a 314, I'm a big Geezer Butler fan, but couldn't understand a word he said. Hey, I love that. I love I love the Birmingham accent, that Birmingham, Liverpool. Like, it's just, man, the English accent's awesome. Just in general, all the different dialects.
Yeah. But I will say, with the English accent and the different dialects, you're either Shakespeare or a chimney sweep.
That's correct.
Those are the two dialects.
Chim Chim Chiru, baby.
It's Mary Poppins.
Speaking of work,
Yeah.
we're coming to an office this week.
Thursday, baby.
Shift disturbers are happening. We have picked a place.
Mhm.
We are showing up on Thursday.
Yep.
We're going on Thursday.
Thursday morning, we're going to show up with a folding table and the ability to broadcast.
We're doing a whole show
Yep.
in your office. Is it your office? Maybe.
It will be our office.
You'll
on
never know.
Thursday.
I can't wait to do this. This is so great. And we got a logo.
I know.
Are we getting a shirt?
I thought we were going to get shirts,
We should have a shirt.
like a
Shift disturber shirt. Man, we better be very careful with this.
Ooh, I know. It's going to be fun. And if you think we're joking, we're not.
We're not.
We're
We are-
literally
Yep.
going to show up at somebody's office. It
That's
could
right.
be yours. It could be yours. On Thursday, we're going to broadcast live.
It's like listening to the Odyssey app live in person. That's what
is.
it's going to be like.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
I'm very excited about it. Are you excited about it?
I am. Are we going to have food?
Oh, I don't know. We need to think about that.
Yeah.
We might have to provide some food.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll think about it.
I could bring some value turkey.
Don't do that. Look, we're already going to be annoying these people
Yeah.
by showing up. We don't want to make it worse by bringing
But guys,
value turkey.
It's real. It's real.
Yeah,
Thursday,
it's happening.
our first Shift Disturber event.
Show.
We're
It's coming
gonna
up.
disturb.
The interview with Thane Rosenbaum, Fortune Feemster, Matt Pauley, Geezer Butler of Black Sabbath. It's all on the Odyssey app for free. Download it, KMOX.com. Dave Glover's show is next. Amy and I will hang around for the next crossover hour on KMOX.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and